now it's time for something truly delicious. We're gonna roast the chicken, but we're gonna take it to a whole different place. Inspired by Korea, we're gonna make an amazing kimchi marinade, and I'm gonna stuff it in these beautiful little fluffy coconut buns with a slaw, with a sauce, in your mouth. Come on! We can do this, you're gonna love it. So, we're gonna start off with the marinade and sauce. It starts here with the kimchi. Kimchi is fermented cabbage. If you go around supermarkets, you're gonna find it. Amazing flavor. So in a liquidizer, we're gonna add 250 grams of kimchi. And then we've got another new ingredient that you can find in more and more supermarkets, and definitely Asian supermarkets. This is called gochujang, and it's made out of sweet peppers, glutinous rice, soya beans, chilies. It's like the backbone to so many Korean dishes. 2 tablespoons of that is enough. Then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and some rice wine vinegar.
Then to add a little bit of crunch, gently toast up some sesame seeds.
2 tablespoons of these and put them into the sauce. Then I'm gonna save back the rest of these to scatter onto our chicken later. Let's do a little whizzing up. Oh! What I love about this is it's those ingredients whiz up and already we're in a place of deliciousness. This sauce here is going to have 3 roles. The first role is to go on our chicken as a marinade. So I'll put about 1/4 of that in there. And then we want to create the glaze and the sauce. And to kind of make that transition, I'm just going to add, 2 or 3 tablespoons of honey. That will give a nice sweetness. So just another quick little whiz.
So pour half in a bowl for your dipping sauce and keep the rest for your glaze.
So with a marinade, rub it around the bird, under, over, get right in the wings, get right in the legs, rub it all the way around. Now, we're gonna roast this chicken for 1 hour and 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, and it's gonna be gorgeous. Right, so now we're gonna do the buns, steamed buns. They're light, they're fluffy. I'm using this tin as my measure. 1 tin of coconut milk to 2 heaped tins of self-raising flour. It works every single time. So move it around with a fork as much as you can until it gets too hard, and then we can use our hands and just knead it up. And that flavor of just very gentle coconut is sublime. What I'm gonna do now is make about 10 to 12 little buns. Get your hand like a little cage, put the palm of your hand down quite hard, and then as you pull your hand up, you make a little tight ball like that. Now, get your dough and roll it out roughly around that big, but what we wanna do is steam it like that. So it's like a little parcel that we can open out. Now, we don't want it to stick, so I'm gonna take a little bit of greaseproof paper and a little sesame oil, and I'm just gonna take a little dab on my finger and then put our beautiful steamed bun like that. The recipe's so simple that we can just spend a bit of love and care making these edible little kind of transport units that are gonna go in your mouth. Lovely.
Then after 1 hour and 20 minutes,
have a little look at my friend here. It looks like a very gnarly, rustic, spiced up chicken. That leftover sauce that we had, do you remember we put the honey in there? That can now become like a glaze. So we can stick things to it, like the sesame seeds. And I'm gonna put it back in the oven, not to cook, the oven's now off, but that heat will just kind of tighten up that glaze, and that gives us like 10 minutes to steam up our buns and make our little slaw. This is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna place these buns 6 at a time in a layer of these steamers. The bread's gonna like rehydrate, it's gonna puff up. Put some water in a pan, get that boiling, and this goes on top. It literally takes 10 minutes to steam. Happy days.
so onto the slaw.
I've got some bok choy here, I've got some Chinese cabbage, some carrot, and I've got some spring onions, and I've got some chili.
Add the zest and juice of 2 limes and a teaspoon of sesame oil.
Now the last ingredient, chili flakes, and these are the sweet chilies that go in that lovely chili paste that we've used. They're not hot, they're actually quite sweet and very delicious. And then really finely slice these ingredients. Try and get it thin, not chunky. So just dress this up almost like shake it in your hands. Let's bring the little party together. Out with the chicken, come on! I mean, look at that, it looks amazing. Imagine putting that on a dinner table. Come on guys, get around, dips, sauces, little bit of slaw. Let's have a look at the buns. Yeah! Right, enough talking, let's eat. Let me show you how to make one of these buns. This is what it's all about. And I want to hit that with just a little bit of our sauce. Bundle it with a nice wodge of this slaw. So get chunks of the chicken, it's juicy and it's going to be messy. And look at that, my friend. A beautiful stuffed steam bun just for you. Right. Soft, it's steamy. The chicken's amazing. The flavor, the tang, the spice, the long flavors. I'm tasting many, many things here. And I think everyone in the cafe is really going to get stuck in. I want to show you my expression of an Indian dosa. A light, crisp pancake batter filled with amazing vegetables, spices, with an array of sauces and pickles. It's so comforting, so delicious. So for this amazing dosa, you need an amazing fermented batter. It's very easy, but it's a 2-day process, and the fermenting might freak you out. Don't let it freak you out. The fermenting will give you texture, bubbles, and flavor like you won't believe. There's 3 ingredients that we're using here. You can get them in all the supermarkets. White rice, we've got the white split peas, otherwise known as urid dal, and then fenugreek, one of my favorite spices, very savory and really fragrant.
Cover with water and leave to soak for 6 to 12 hours until the grains have plumped up and softened. Then blitz it all together until smooth.
So that's the batter made, and now we let the natural bit happen, the magic bit, the fermenting. You'll see, because you'll see bubbles, right? That will be flavour.
As it's the weekend, we've got time to leave the batter to ferment overnight at room temperature so we can get on with the fun stuff.
Now it's all about the filling, and I'm going to do one with potatoes, plantain and squash with amazing Indian flavours. We're going to begin the story with 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, a heaped teaspoon of mustard seeds, a teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, turmeric in the corner. I don't really want to over toast that. Then we're going to add these incredible curry leaves.
Then finally chop a 10cm piece of ginger, 2 red chillies and add to the pan.
Look at those colours, oh my lord. And then we'll go in with 3 small red onions. The potatoes, it just kind of gives it that starchy stodge that I like. Then there's this little fella, the plantain. I mean, it looks like a banana, but it's more starchy, more substantial. It's fantastic. And then I've got some amazing squash. Look at the colour. I mean, this is really nutritious, delicious, colourful food with spices and herbs. Honestly, when you eat this, it's going to blow your mind.
So pop the tray into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit and let the filling cook for an hour.
This is the really exciting bit. We're going to make the sauces and the pickles. The ones that we know probably most is mango chutney. Delicious, but I want to show you one that's full of life, full of vibrance. Take 3 nice, really ripe tomatoes and just gently and carefully grate it. What will happen is it will mush the flesh and it will leave you with the skin. On these box graters, see there's a finer side, so I'll use the onion for that. And the acidity in the tomatoes is going to kind of like almost pickle the onion. It's just going to have that kind of nice salsa-y tang to it.
Grate in a small piece of ginger, season with salt, and add the zest and juice of a lime.
And the lime juice will be like a ray of sunshine. So simple, so quick. Very delicious. So the next chutney I'm going to do is coconut chutney. Buy yourself a fresh coconut, get yourself something heavy and give it a nice little whack. And then get a fork. And it's a bit laborious, but you just scratch it in a crisscross fashion and you get this really nice kind of grated texture that I love. It's so tropical. So that goes into a pestle and mortar. And then I'm going to use another little piece of white onion and another little piece of ginger. Then pound it up to a mush. Lime juice, again, for that real freshness. Have a little taste. Wow. The next and last one I'm gonna do is a lemon pickle. It's so good. And we're gonna eat and use the flesh and the skin. And I make this a lot. A little oil in the corner of a pan. I'll then go in with a pinch of cumin, a teaspoon of black mustard seeds. I'll add the curry leaves here. We can spice it up with red or green chilies. As those curry leaves become beautifully crisp, then we simply go in with our lemons. So 30 seconds in a pan is all you need. But what's really mad is something very magical happens as this now cools down. The natural pectin in the lemon starts to create a kind of, almost a coating. It becomes a bit pickly. Who wouldn't want to dip something in that? Oh. Right, have a look at this, guys. I mean, that, my friends, is an amazing vegetable dish in its own right. But today, that's going to be smushed up a little bit and put in this incredible dosa. So let's get back to the batter. So in the sort of 15 hours that this has been fermenting, there's been an absolute party going on here, and that's what's going to give it that lightness and that flavour.
Season the batter with salt and pour a ladle into a lightly oiled non-stick pan.
Try and get this dosa as thin as you can. That fermenting, I can smell it now, it's that kind of beeriness. And as that cooks, it will get crisp and thin. Now what we're going to do is we're going to load it. Wowzers. I mean, look at the thinness of this. And happy days. This is like no pancake you've ever had before. This, guys, is a dosa. Those intelligent, brilliant Indian flavors that I love so much. Right, enough talking. Let's do it. As I tear off little bits, I can go in and kind of take some of that tomato chutney and maybe a bit of, you know, the coconut. Mmm. Oh my Lord. Smiles all round. It's absolutely phenomenal. I don't even want to talk, I just want to eat. It's time for something truly scrumptious. Beautiful chicken katsu curry with a wonderful homemade curry sauce, coconut rice, a little pickle. Weekend dishes do not get more delicious than this. So it all starts here with the chicken breasts. Now, a chicken breast is fat on one side and skinny on the other. Now, we can fix that by putting some greaseproof paper on top, and by using your hand, we can smash the fat end. It will tenderize it, it will flatten it out and make it cook more evenly. Once you've done that, we're going to make the most delicious marinade. Very simple. Now, I'm using buttermilk. 250 mils goes in. It's going to give you a beautiful creaminess, acidity. To this, I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic, and I want to crush it straight in. We're going to add curry powder, 2 teaspoons. So mix this up. So the breasts are now going to go straight into that bowl, and we'll just give it a little mix around. If you leave that for about 2 hours, amazing. If you leave it overnight, oh my Lord, different level. Now, time for the curry sauce. It's full of flavour. It's going to taste a million miles better than anything you've got from a takeaway. So look, in a pan, we'll go in with some oil. We're going to add some onion, a carrot, a nice thumb-sized piece of ginger, 2 cloves of garlic. So get the onion chopped up as fine as you can. Finely slice the garlic, so nice, fragrant beginnings. And then the ginger. Fresh ginger is really going to lift this dish.
Then roughly dice the carrot and finely chop a bunch of fresh coriander stalks, keeping the leaves for later.
Look at those colours. And to this, right now, I'm going to add spice. So first up, curry powder, 1 teaspoon. Then garam masala, 1. And then the amazing turmeric goes in.
Fry over a medium-low heat for about 15 minutes until the veg starts to caramelise.
So look, guys, we've got colour happening here, and it's that commitment to the colour that's going to give you flavour. So a couple of dessert spoons of plain flour goes in. So the flour acts as a thickening agent, and a nice big heaped teaspoon of mango chutney to get that balance of spice and sweetness. And now we're gonna add some water. So just simply boil and simmer this to the consistency that you like. If, however, you wanted to pimp it up with a little bit more spice, you can absolutely take some fresh chili and just finely slice a little bit. And that, my friends, is your next go-to easy curry sauce. Absolutely delicious. Oh, right, this comes off the heat. The next bit is perfect, fluffy coconut rice.
So into the pan with a mug of basmati rice and 2 mugs of boiling water.
And then add 2 tablespoons of coconut cream. This is gonna give you incredible flavor. And then all I wanna do is season that with a good pinch of salt, and you can add just a half a lemon in the top.
Leave the rice to simmer away for 10 minutes or until the water has evaporated. And it's time to make a quick pickle. So finely slice a red onion, carrot and some chilies, then squeeze the juice of a lemon, season and mix together.
Because there's a lot of lemon juice in there, it will start to pickle the onions, the carrot and the chili. And then what I do is just grab the coriander leaves and just tear it on top.
Pickle done, and we can get on with preparing the chicken.
Let me show you how easy it is to breadcrumb. Just take your chicken like this and place it in panko breadcrumbs and then apply some weight. The buttermilk will act like glue and we'll get an amazing coating. You want to add about ½ centimetre of oil. Get that nice and hot. When it starts to shimmer, we're going to go in with the chicken. You want it on a kind of medium high temperature, about 4 minutes on each side until golden and crisp. Now, let's turn it. Look at that, proper crispy. Oh yes, we're good to go. Put the rice on the plate. I'm gonna get my chicken and just slice it up. But you've got that lovely crispy chicken, pearly white, crispy outside, but still juicy. Happy days. Look at that. I like to get a bit of that curry sauce and put it over the rice and the chicken, and then get that amazing pickle. That is a little thing of joy. Only thing left to do, eat it. That, my friends, is a treat of a dish. So many flavors, so many textures. It's so crunchy, so comforting. And I reckon everyone in the cafe is just gonna savor the moment.
Down at the other end of the pier, I'm cooking up a feast that's perfect for the weekend.
It's time for something truly delicious for you to share with the people that you love. We're gonna make amazing seafood risotto. I've got langoustines, mussels, clams, beautiful squid, lovely picked crab with incredible slow roasted sweet tomatoes that are gonna explode in your mouth. So tasty and so beautiful. But I'm gonna start with the tomatoes because I wanna roast those for about an hour. And I just gotta take them off the vine and just prick. This allows the skin to come off. And I'm gonna put them in boiling water for about 30 seconds. So once you've done that, just get the skin and just take it off. By removing the skin, we're opening up the tomato to flavor. And by slow roasting them, we're gonna make them like little explosive, sweet, tomatoey bombs of goodness. Take the skins and actually put them to the side. I wanna add a few fragrant things. Let's take a couple of cloves of garlic and just finely slice it. Give it a nice season with some sea salt, some lovely olive oil, and I'm gonna take some rosemary and just toss it up like that. It already smells amazing. And I'll cook those for about 45 minutes to an hour at about 170 degrees Celsius until they're gorgeous and sweet. So next, I'm gonna start the risotto, and the base is called a sofrito, which traditionally is onion and celery. But in this story, I'm adding a little friend, fennel. It's so good with seafood. Finely chop the onion, then celery. I've clicked back these outer stalks. We can use that in our stock, but the base, that's the heavenly part. It's dense and delicious. But then these yellow leaves, we'll click these off, sprinkled at the end. This is gonna be amazing. Look at that, beautiful. So I'm gonna take about half of this fennel. It's one of my favorite vegetables. So So look, guys, that's the beginning of the story. That's the sofrito. And we're just gonna slowly fry this off, and we'll let that sweat for about 10, 15 minutes until it's sweet and intense and delicious. So next up, the very special spice, saffron. By weight, still one of the most expensive products in the world. And these are the little stamens of the crocus. But what amazes me is how just that can make a difference to a plate of food. So just grab yourself a little dish, and I'm gonna use boiling water from the tomatoes, and as that infuses, the smell and the color are gonna transform this water. Extraordinary. I'll let that continue to infuse. So let's prep some fish, guys. This seafood risotto, I'm going massive today. So I've got crab, I've got langoustines, right? So what we can do very simply is take the tail off. We can just squeeze it into itself. We can just peel that and get that lovely sweet meat out. I'm just gonna slice them up. Then let's get our squid. Just take the time to finely slice it, make it delicate. We've got amazing seafood in Britain. There's so much of it. We've got mussels, we've got clams, we've got crab. They're all nice and sustainable. What a beautiful celebration of British seafood. Amazing. I now want to show you how to make a fish stock. In these shells are loads of flavors and natural oils. The smell already is incredible. Also, we can add some fish bones. Now, if you go to a fishmonger's and ask for some fish bones, full of flavor. And then we'll go in with all those offcuts. Nothing's going to waste. It's all flavor. You can put in a few herbs, bay leaves, all the little burnt bits. Kiss it with a little wine, and it will start to clean the bottom of the pan. Let the wine cook away, and then simply top up with water, just to cover. So I can now go back to the sofrito. Just look at that. So I use about 4 handfuls of rice. This is cannelloni, full of starch, and that starch equals creaminess. And the first thing the rice does is get onto that lovely sofrito and the oil. That's the first welcoming party. It's good. I'm then gonna add wine. I'm using rosé. So we'll go in with a little half glass, and we wanna cook it away. So the stock is ready to go. Grab a ladle of stock and pour it in, and then using the wooden spoon, we're massaging that starch out, and that's the creaminess, and that's kind of the effect that you want. So every time that stock cooks away and you plump up the rice, then we'll add another one. The minute you start adding that stock, it's about 18 minutes away. I'm gonna take this incredible infusion of the saffron. We're taking this white, humble rice to quite a kind of royal level. As that comes back up to temperature, the shellfish goes in. Keep stirring, the smell is amazing. So now I'm gonna go in with the squid, the crab, and the incredible langoustine. This takes about sort of 1.5 minutes. I don't want to overcook those. The clams and the mussels are really opening up. What a joy. Anyone's shut tight, you can just throw those away. And as it's kind of getting to its final cook, I'm going to beat in some butter. It's sweet and creamy. So we'll take this off now. Parmesan goes in to season it. So you might think I'm going to serve it up right now. No. Shake it, taste it. Oh! But hold yourself back. Lid on top. Relax. A nonna told me this. It's very important. She was right. They're always right. So, 1 minute. So it's had its minute, and it's gorgeously oozy. Oh, mamma mia. Let's get those tomatoes out. Have a look at this, guys. Beautiful. And just bob these around. And then simply finish with those delicate little herbs. And then the fennel tips. Not just beautiful, but delicious. And then just a little finish of our extra virgin olive oil. Hallelujah! The most incredible risotto that's gonna blow your mind. Let's have some. Oh my Lord. Delicate seafood. That explosion of sweet tomato is another level. The rice is so comforting. It's really oozy. But then every mouthful is different, right? You might get a little bit of clam, you might get a little bit of mussel. Such joy. I'll tell you what, that is a very, very special dish for a very special guest. At the weekend, I like to do things that make you feel like celebrating food, getting excited, really getting your taste buds going. And actually, it doesn't always have to be posh. We're gonna make the most incredible British burger, the most amazing homemade patty, red Leicester burger sauce, pimped up with pulled oxtail. A British burger like you've never seen before. We're gonna start with oxtail. And before you run away and say, no, you've got to stay with me on this because it's next level stuff. So I've got 1 kilo of oxtail here. You can get it in any butcher's. So some basic seasoning with salt and pepper. And then we're gonna go into a pan and we're gonna brown it off. So you have the benefit of the bone and the marrow, and it gives you a kind of depth of flavor that's amazing. Let's get it really dark and golden and gorgeous. I want this amazing ultimate British burger to represent Britain. Cue the music. That's enough. And I want it to have texture, so patty, melted cheese, pulled meats. But when we put it together with the burger sauce, I want to be able, wait for it, to dip it in gravy. Filthy. I love it. So that's going to make the pulled meat and the gravy. So as that cooks, I'm going to add some onions and a really good shake of Worcestershire sauce. And then what I want to do, because remember we are doing a gravy, 4 tablespoons of flour. So I'll take the oxtail out now and put it into a little casserole pan, just caring enough to start getting colour even on the flour. And it's all going to add to the richness of the gravy. A little seasoning and 1.5 litres of vegetable, chicken stock, beef stock, whatever you've got to hand. So let's just take that stock over the oxtail. And then I'm just going to cover it in a little greaseproof paper and then bring in the tin foil, cover it nice and tight like that, into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit, and just let that oxtail slow cook for 3 to 4 hours until the meat falls off the bone. And this is going to give you loads of time to get on with your weekend. Go do some stuff, knowing full well that something very special is about to happen. So when the time is up, have a look at that, guys. Oh, it smells so good. And you know what? It reminds me of my dear old nanny Betty. She used to love cooking this. The meat just falls off the bone. It is so, so good. Here is the gravy, by the way. Just skim off this fat and then push the gravy through a coarse sieve. You don't have to do it, but I quite like a finer gravy, right? I think it's a bit more elegant. And then these chunky bits can go back into our pulled meat. Just put a fresh swig of Worcestershire sauce in there. And then you can take a herb like parsley just to give it a little bit of contrast. And that on our burger is going to be amazing. I'll pop that in the oven and turn the oven off, okay, just to keep it warm. So, let's make the burger sauce. Let's get our pickle. It will give you tang and crunch. Then lettuce is surprisingly sweet. And then tomatoes. Get an overripe one, and that'll have wonderful flavour. Season it with salt and pepper, and then just dress it in a little yogurt. Look at that. I love it. So now is patty time. I love the chuck steak. It has a natural mix of fat and muscle and flavour. Don't overthink it. Roll it up, squash it out. Happy days. 4 fine little patties. I'm just going to season it, and then we go into the pan. So give it about 1.5 minutes, and then turn it. Get some English mustard. And you want a little teaspoon on there. English mustard is quite hot, but actually when it cooks, it calms. And we're going to flip it again. So it's going to have 4 turns. 1.5 minutes, brush, 1.5 minutes, right? And then just lay your red Leicester cheese over the top. And now, very importantly, find a little lid to put on top. The great thing about that bowl is it creates like a little bit of steam that just makes the cheese ooze. Jiggle that bun around in some of that rendered fat and gorgeousness. A nice bun only requires a few little minutes. It's the time to show you the ultimate burger. Let's get the oxtail out of the oven. Look at that. Oh my Lord. We take the burger sauce, 2 little spoons. Look at that. And that ooze is a thing of beauty. Incredible oxtail. Oh my Lord, behave. And then a little bun on top. But we ain't done yet, because remember, we made that gravy. And then you dip it. There's no polite way to eat this. It's gonna be messy, but it's gonna be one of the nicest things you eat. Pure indulgence. Oh.
Down at the other end of the pier, I'm cooking up a feast that will add a little bang to your Sunday lunch.
It's the weekend and it's time for an incredible roast like you've never had before. I'm gonna show you how to make gunpowder lamb, an amazing Southern Indian inspired dish, gnarly, crispy outside, but blushing and sweet in the middle, with incredible coconut rice, pineapple salsa, the best feasting meal ever.
And it all starts with a gorgeous leg of lamb. So ask your butcher to debone and butterfly it for you.
So if we look at the lamb here, I want to just kind of accentuate opening it out. So I'll just score it a little bit here. So I'm kind of evening out the thicknesses. Now, the reason for butterflying it is kind of opening it out like a book, exposing surface area, but allowing a paste or a marinade to really get in there. So now we're ready for some flavour. The gunpowder spice mix. It's actually called poddy in southern India. Gunpowder meaning it's got kick. I'm just going to toast some spices. Go in with 2 teaspoons of coriander seeds and then 2 teaspoons of fenugreek. Black pepper, wonderful. And then I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 sweet cayenne, and then 2 of these brilliant little dried chilies. Fantastic. It's getting smoky, so you're waking up the flavour. Add a good pinch of sea salt. Give it a muddle first, like this, and then start bashing. So now we have that luminous powder. We can kind of put some wet elements in. 2 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 2 tablespoons of vinegar. The smell is off the chart. Time to get our hands going. Let's get all that paste out, get all the flavour in all the cracks and crannies. So in it goes. Look at that. So I'm going to go over to a griddle pan now. This is preheated onto high. Then once it's been bar marked perfectly on both sides, which is like 5 minutes of cooking, it's still raw, but then we're going to finish it by roasting. The best of both worlds. Charry smoky and then juicy gentle. Love that.
Char grilling in a shed can be a bit smoky.
Yes!
So open those windows or get outside and cook it on a barbecue for even better flavour. Then pop the lamb into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius and let it cook to perfection for around 20 to 25 minutes.
Next up, let's make a salsa like no other salsa. Pineapple, they use it a lot in the south of India, in curries and pickles. I really love it. So first up, we have to peel it. Follow the curve of the pineapple. Beautiful. Cut alongside the core. Get that on the grill. Then we want some onion. Cut it into quarters. And again, these will go onto the grill. So while that's going, let's create some background flavour. First up, lime, the zest. And if you imagine some of these fragrant elements with the rich lamb, it's going to work so well. Look at that. I'm going to use just a little bit of coriander stalks. Some people discard these, but if you finely slice them, they're so delicious and crunchy. A little chili in. So let's get the onions and the pineapple. These will be quite sweet now. Look at that. So, salsa done. Now, what we're going to do is the most amazing coconut rice. A tablespoon of vegetable oil goes in, then go in with a couple of teaspoons of mustard seed. Then we go in with curry leaves. And as they're frying, I'm going to get a couple of chilies, scrape the seeds out. That's removing most of the heat. And then in there we go too. So let me give you a fail-safe rice quantity. So for 4 people, you want 1 builder's mug of rice. Now, to every cup of rice, you want 2 cups of water. Season it, and then last but not least, some coconut cream. It's got the most fantastic tropical flavour. And I'm gonna crumble that in. The gas is on full whack. That'll take about 12 minutes to cook until light and fluffy. Then I'm gonna turn the heat down and let it kind of sizzle to give you a crust. This has had just over 20 minutes. Look at that. We'll let that rest, and we want that to rest for like 15 minutes, okay? Gunpowder juices. Oh my lordy lord. What I want to do now is a beautiful, simple mint yogurt. Get yourself a nice little bunch of mint. Put it in there with a good pinch of salt. Smash it up to like a little paste. Take some beautiful organic yogurt and then marble it in. Look at that. Let's get it going. I'm very, very excited. Gunpowder lamb. Imagine carving this at the table. It's time for the rice. Before you get to burning, right, there is a really sweet spot that's called crispy bits. So go around the rim of the pan with a little spatula, because what you're doing is trying to make it not stick. I want to turn it out like a sandcastle, right? Put this plate or board on top and just confidently go 1, 2, 3. Fluffy on the inside, crispy on the outside. I've got a few little poppadoms in the story, beautiful. And then I've got the lamb. We then have that complete surprise contrast of that pineapple salsa. A nice little bit of mint yogurt, absolutely beautiful. A few little bits of coriander, and Bob's your uncle. It's time to eat. All right. There's so many exciting things going on. Gunpowder spices, the gnarly outside with that really juicy, blushing inside that's sweet and delicious. And then you go for the mint sauce, the coconut rice, then the pineapple salsa. Davina, Jimmy, and everyone in the cafe, they're going to be making some very happy noises. Time to do something incredible that you're gonna love, something a bit special. We're gonna make homemade ravioli with smashed potato, sweet onions, radicchio, fontina cheese, and parmesan. Little edible parcels that people are gonna go mad for. So it all starts with the filling. And this filling is a different one, right? It's actually a potato filling. Take 2 potatoes, give them a little stab up with a fork, and then we're gonna throw them straight into the oven at about 200 degrees Celsius for about an hour. And then the rest of the filling is super, super simple. Take a red onion, cut those into quarters with some radicchio. It's an Italian salad leaf. It's bitter and crunchy. I want to season this with salt, pepper, nice extra virgin olive oil, and a generous drizzle of balsamic vinegar. Got some lovely thyme here, and that's going to be amazing. Get some greaseproof paper, tuck that up into bed. So, let that roast away for about 40 minutes to an hour, and then both of them will be raring to go. But of course, to wrap that filling, we need the pasta. So, in a bowl, add 400 grams of pasta flour, and then in there, about 70 grams of semolina. And then we're gonna use 12 egg yolks. So what we get is pasta that is silky. I mean, look, the point of making your own pasta is to do something exceptional, something extraordinary. So last one goes in, happy days. Add a little bit of water, and you can add just a little bit of oil. And then we'll use a fork to start off with. You want it tacky, but not sticky. You want it pliable and malleable, but, you know, not hard. If it's too hard, add some water. If it's too wet and sticky, add some flour. Easy. Now that we've got a nice little texture in this bowl, let's knead it. So put your weight into it, push it away, bring it back. There's no real right or wrong way to do it. Once you've done that for about 5 minutes, what you'll have is an amazingly silky, elastic dough. And if you touch it, you can see it bouncing back. So what we need to do is now let it relax. So cover it in a damp cloth or a little bit of cling film. So wrap it up like that. That'll be ready in about half an hour, 40 minutes, and then we can make ravioli.
Once cooked, take the fillings out of the oven, finely chop the radicchio and onion, and scoop out the potato from their skins.
And then cheese is going to be what kind of makes this sort of holy trinity of flavors. So I'm using Parmesan, but I'm also using Fontina. But the nice thing about this is you can use any cheese you can get your hands on, as long as it melts nicely and it tastes delicious.
Mix it all together and season to perfection.
Take chunks about this big. Just roll them into little balls. And of course, the size of your ball will control the size of your ravioli. So now for the exciting bit. It's very, very simple. I use the pasta machine, and I think that is much, much easier and more consistent. So for the first couple of goes, go onto the widest setting, roll it through, fold it in half, and lightly flour it. And then each time we run it through, we'll go down a notch. So every time you take it down a notch, you're making the pasta sheet thinner and thinner. There is our lovely sheet of pasta. Right, let's lay it out and just put a little bit of water in there. Take our filling and just lay it about 2 centimeters away from the edge. And then once we've done that, just flop it over like this. And it's quite malleable. Use your fingers, not your fingernails. You don't want to cut through the pasta. Use the little curve of your finger to just, you know, slowly hug around that ravioli and go from one side to the other. And then we use our cutter or our knife to just clean up the edge all the way along the length, in between the gaps. And here is your homemade ravioli. That, my friends, is a thing of beauty. We're going to put this into boiling water for about 2.5 minutes. We'll season that water with salt. Now, while that's cooking, what I want to do is toast off some hazelnuts on a medium heat, right? I'll put them into a pestle and mortar, just pound up half of the nuts to a powder and then just crack some. Then I'll go into the pan with a little olive oil and then some thyme. Then I want to take just a little bit of butter. I'm going to take those delicate ravioli and a little bit of the water into the pan. And the water and the butter will emulsify. Let's plate it up. And you can see how delicate that pasta is. Look at that. Put some of that lovely butter around the plate. Get some of those hazelnuts. And then, a bit of Parmesan. And that, my friends, is a ravioli worth savouring. So let's get in there. Oh my Lord. Flavour explosion. The feel of that fresh pasta is like nothing else. It is so silky. And the flavour you get when you first put it in your mouth is that thyme, butter and hazelnut. So it's quite light and tangy. But then when you bite into that dark middle, it's bassy, it's bitter, sweet, like gorgeous cheese. They are the silkiest, smoothest little mouthfuls of joy that you're ever going to eat.
Down at my beach hut, I've got a great little recipe that gives you a whole new way to cook your meat and all the trimmings.
It's the weekend and I want to show you a lovely feasting dish that we just love at home, poached chicken with broth that is absolutely to die for, noodles, dumplings, supercharging it with loads of veggies. It's a brilliant sharing dish that's not only comforting but super healthy as well. So first up, we start with this. A nice 2 kilo organic chicken into some cold water. And then I want to flavour this water up using juniper berries. This is the flavour of gin. Just by crushing them in your fingers, you can get that into the water, add a little salt, and then next, herbs. Just pick any nice woody herbs you can get your hands on. Rosemary, thyme, grab it in a nice little bunch like this, and I'm going to poach that gently for 1.5 hours, giving you loads of time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the weekend. So we've had 1.5 hours, and I just want to show you what's going on in the pan here. The natural fat comes to one side. So what we can do is get some of that lovely fat and keep it, because we're going to make the most amazing dumplings And why make it from butter or oil when you can make it from chicken fat? Delicious. While that chicken's just kind of ticking away, what I can do is get some veggies in there. So celery, we've got these lovely leaves that we'll save for later. Cut that in half and then into quarters. The carrots we can half. Onion into eighths. And then last but not least, fennel. It's got an aniseed flavour when it's raw, but when you cook it, it's just a really fragrant, delicious, sweet vegetable. So again, take this inner herby part here, and that can go alongside our celery leaves. So these herbs will be brilliant, sprinkled on the hot broth at the very end. So the fennel into eighths. So the perfect time to cook these veggies is about half an hour. We're going to get the flavour from all the veggies kind of cooking into the chicken and vice versa. So next up, we're going to make the most beautiful little dumplings. So it starts with 120 grams of Matzah meal. You can get it in all the supermarkets. Add 4 eggs to that. And this makes the most fantastically light and delicate dumpling that sucks up the flavour from the chicken broth. And that is what it's about. Season up with salt and pepper. And then this fat that we've skimmed off the chicken. We're going to absolutely utilise as much of that flavour as possible. Give it a good little mix up. Get a little Matzah meal on my board here, like that. So roll the little dumplings with slightly wet hands and you'll get a lovely little ball, just like that. And as they sit on the little extra dust, it'll absorb it and almost create like an outside coating. Rolling, rolling, rolling. That is the dumplings done. But I do want something to spice up my life, right? So I want to show you how to make homemade mustard and some homemade horseradish sauce. So the homemade mustard is really simple. You just get it dried in a little tin like this, season it up with some salt. And then I think the important thing is that we use really nice vinegar. You know, when you go shopping, have a little look. There'll be cider vinegar, you know, white wine vinegar, and you really do get what you pay for. And we just kind of keep mixing it. Get the consistency that you want. It's delicious. Really, really good. So next, horseradish sauce. If you ever get the opportunity to buy a chunk of horseradish, please go for it. Just peel the outside like that, then get a fine grater and just have a little grate up, and then add it to either yogurt or creme fraiche. This is going to be a horseradish sauce with attitude. Now I want a bit of acidity there to sort of balance it, and I'm going to use a lemon. Just a little bit of sourness is going to be amazing. So look, in no time at all, we've made 2 beautiful sauces. Of course, you could just open a jar. Of course you can, and it's delicious, but not that delicious. Let's move the chicken over here. Look at that. Use a little sieve and just pour some of this stock over these dumplings. And by now, this broth is tasting incredible. Put these back on the heat now and get that chicken stock boiling, reducing, getting more intense. And then I want to just cook that for about 5 minutes. And what's nice is as they're boiling, they're sort of spinning around, swelling up, sucking up that chicken stock. And we can add to that. We can add kind of vibrance. So we can go in of seasonal peas, broad beans, but even in the winter, frozen peas are amazing. Also, noodles. It's just the sort of thing I love in a bowl to kind of slurp on. So in with the noodles for another 5 minutes and we're ready to go. So while that cooks, I want to show you how to pull this chicken. If I just get the other side of the ladle, pick the chicken up like that, and then just get it onto this platter. And then on the platter, let's move the veggies in. Look at that. What I want to do now is break up this chicken so I can literally just pull all this off the bone. The cooking's done all the hard work for you and it's very, very tender now. Okay, so in the pan here, just the colour, it's just, you know that that's going to be beautiful. And we can just top up. So a bit more on the noodles, yeah, we'll take it. Go over to the platter and be quite generous because it's all about the broth. Joyful, nice extra virgin olive oil. Just drizzle that over the top. And then get those herbs, the little bits of fennel and the little bits of celery leaf, just pick those over the top. So all you have to do now is get a load in a bowl, get your matzah balls, and then let's get some chicken and veggies. Big old chunk of breast. Get a lovely carrot. Just top that up with some of that beautiful broth. And then in my bowl, a nice little hit of that mustard and horseradish. This is literally one of my favorite things to eat. Delicious. The broth is intense. It's food that makes you feel good. The chicken is so tender, and with the noodles and the dumplings, it's just amazing.
I am so excited to give you a go-to Friday night classic in the Oliver household. We're gonna make veggie tikka masala. We've got beautiful marinated and grilled veggies with paneer cheese, the lovely sauce, got an amazing grater salad. Then we've got these amazing little pancakes to mop up the sauce. So, so good, and I bet you can do it quicker than ordering a takeaway. So come on, let's do this. In a roasting tray, we'll go in with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and then a nice heaped teaspoon of golden turmeric, amazing flavour, and then cumin seeds. Cut that with a little lemon. We can steal some of that zest, and that will caramelise and go sweet and delicious. But of course, it's the juice that we want. So that's our basic marinade. We'll use that to toss all the veggies. Onions into quarters, then break them into petals. We're going to skewer these. If they're too small, they're too fiddly. Then peppers, and just tear this into similar sized chunks. We've got chilies, red, green, yellow, whatever you can get your hands on. And then our good friend, Mr. Cauliflower. Just remove the stalk, and we'll take big chunks. You can even put the nice green leaves in there. In here, we're just gonna have a good old toss-up. Turmeric is just one of the most incredible spices. The colour, the savouriness, the sort of smokiness. And then paneer, the fantastic cheese. Cut an inch cube, put that in the marinade again. What's lovely about paneer, it is a fantastic carrier of flavours. So get yourself a skewer. So just skewer that on and just alternate it. Bit of onion, bit of chilli. So last one goes on. I've turned the grill on, and we want to get it black and gnarly on one side, then turn it and get it black and gnarly on the other side. I reckon about 15, 20 minutes in a grill at full whack. So now it's the time for sauce. I want to introduce curry leaves. You might find that in your supermarket. If you haven't, there are Indian supermarkets all around the country, and they will have it. This will transform your curries. Get some oil in a pan, and they will start to go crispy. We'll sprinkle them on at the end, and I just want the flavour in the oil. I'll take an onion, and I'll just roughly chop that. That goes in to that curry leaf oil. I've got 4 cloves of garlic, roughly sliced them. Then I want a thumb-sized piece of ginger, really roughly chopped. I just want to soften these up. So we're going to go in with a heaped teaspoon of garam masala, and then heaped teaspoon of sweet paprika. A little handful of almonds. They don't just give you that gorgeous nutty flavour, they give you a creaminess. Get a liquidizer. This is a very good friend in this recipe. We'll take a tin of plum tomatoes, and I'll take the onions, nuts, spices, garlic, and just get it in there. Maximum flavour, minimum kind of fuss. This is all good. So, back into the pan. This is the base of your sauce. Nice and smooth. We're then going to go in with chickpeas, really soak up the flavour beautifully. I've got some coconut milk here, so I'm going to put most of the coconut milk in. One last thing, and that's just a nice, generous heaped teaspoon of mango chutney. Give that a stir. That is the welcoming party for our grilled veg. Let's start thinking about how we're going to make this Friday night special. I'm going to show you these amazing coconut, bubbly, one-side cooked pancakes. Get yourself a builder's mug filled with self-raising flour. Then we're going to go in with 1 mug of water. Black mustard seeds. Just shake some in. They'll soften, give good flavour. And then like a heaped tablespoon's worth of this coconut cream. Use a whisk, a small pan on a medium-high heat. I'll take a ladle, in we go, round the rim of the pan, and it'll start peeling away, and that is exactly what you want. So, take a beat. What's happening? Pancakes, sauce. Let's have a little look at our veg. It's cooked nice. I think I want to burn it a bit more. Right, so the timing's just working perfect. So, let's have a little think. Salad. No. What I'm going to do is a really cool box grater salad. It could be anything crunchy. So let's just grate a carrot. As I'm grating away, have a look in the pan. Can you see the sides of the pancake are coming away? So we're only cooking this on one side.
Crispy one side, fluffy the other. I can smell that it's starting to sort of catch and toast. Boom. That, my friends, is what we've got. Crispy, beautiful gorgeousness. And that, mopping up that sauce, come on. So back to the salad, guys. We'll have cucumber, yeah. We've got some cabbage, and we've got ginger in there to sort of scent it. Pour that onto there, and then out is our cute little rainbow salad. I'm not gonna dress this with oil, just lime juice, tear in a little bit of coriander. Yes, colour and fun on a Friday night, right? Back to the veg. And we can now just take these veggies into here, and what I like to do is stand it up like this, just slice down and cut them off.
Let the veggies mingle with the sauce and simmer for 10 minutes.
Remember, we saved back the little bit of that coconut milk. We can just ripple this through now.
And sprinkle with crispy fried curry leaves.
Have a little look at that. Enough talking, let's have a feed. Tear these up. We'll go for some curry. Paneer's there, beautiful bit of cauliflower. Those nice little chickpeas, where I put that coconut milk in at the end. See how it just ripples in the most beautiful, beautiful way. We'll get our salad, little slap of refreshment. Let me come down to the level. The pancake is a kind of a little edible plate that you can mop and tear. So good. And every mouthful, different flavors. And that sauce connects it all. This kind of vibe is a big part of our family, and I suggest you should have a go and make it a big part of yours. Enjoy. I'm gonna do a Spanish-inspired dish, the great South End paella. It's gonna be amazing. We've got beautiful chicken, we've got chorizo, yes we have, we've got beautiful squid, cockles, mussels, prawns, veggies. It's gonna be incredible. Paella is brilliant fun to make. It's a fantastic sharing dish, and it all starts over here. I'm gonna blister off some peppers. Delicious. Directly onto the gas or under the grill, and I want you to burn it. Get it smoky, get it blistering, and it's gonna bring out some beautiful flavors. Paella is a world-famous Spanish dish, and of course there's many different variations of it, but the classic comes from Valencia. They're very, very particular about how you do it. So I want to give you my twist on it. We'll take this burnt, beautiful, blistered pepper, and we'll just cover it, let it steam, and then I'll peel those later, and I'll tear it over the finished paella. So on the heat we go, and I'm gonna start with some chicken thigh. What I want to do is access and amplify flavor. Cut down to the bone here, and then get the heel of the knife and give it a little tap. And you can access that marrow. That will give the stock and the broth unbelievable flavor. Let that fry. The skin is rendering, and that fat's gonna be a brilliant beginning to this story. So fry this chicken off for about 10 minutes and get nice golden color. Right, a quick clean down, and then on to the next stage. So a classic flavor of Spain is saffron. So a nice little pinch of that incredible spice. I'm gonna top it up with a glass of water. So that I'll just push away until later. Chorizo is the great Spanish sausage. I'm gonna use 150 grams and then just chunk it up. I've made my fair share of paellas without the chorizo, and I just prefer it with it. So chorizo, hell yeah. I'm gonna take an onion, half it, and then roughly chop it. About centimetre chunks. Now, I'm absolutely gonna take 2 cloves of garlic and finely slice like this. So the garlic goes in. Oh, the smells coming off already are phenomenal. Let's go in with the onions.
Let that cook for 5 to 10 minutes, then add 500 millilitres of stock.
So we'll simmer this now for 10 minutes, nice and gently. Now, at this stage, what I wanna do is add beautiful, ripe Spanish tomatoes. You can see in the pan now, there's no more stock, just sticky, shiny gorgeousness. Then I'm gonna add that golden nectar saffron. Then we're gonna go back in with water. It's about 1 litre. So as this comes back up to the boil, I just wanna sort of acknowledge the seafood. I've got some amazing prawns. Now, there is massive flavour in the heads of the prawns. So as unglamorous as it is, I will remove the heads from the prawns, and the flavour in here is deep and sweet and delicious. So I'm gonna put the heads in. Prawns can stay behind. We are now ready to receive our beautiful rice. You want proper Spanish paella rice, 450 grams, and it will suck up all the amazing flavor, everything that's gone into this dish so far. Another little thing to kind of get that big depth of flavor is rosemary. A couple of nice sprigs like that for just 2-3 minutes. After 3 minutes, I'll take out the rosemary, and then after 10 minutes of fast boiling, I'll turn it down to low, let it cook for about 10 to 20 minutes until the rice is really tender and delicious. I have over here my beautiful peppers. Just remove the blackened skin, and underneath it is full of juice, full of flavor. Slice up, and we'll dress them with gorgeous Spanish extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, and a nice pinch of salt and pepper. I'm actually going to dress the seafood in that oil and the juices from the pepper. The little rings of squid, the prawns go in, the mussels and the clams go in, and we'll just kiss that with the olive oil and the lemon juice. I'm going to go back to our lovely paella. If you listen, it's kind of going from boiling to frying. Most of the liquid is cooked away. And that's going to create a little crispy base. And this is very much revered and loved in Spain. It's called the socarrada, and it's beautiful. So we're now low cooking. And I'll go into our lovely paella and push these mussels right down to the bottom. So when it opens up, all those juices go straight into the rice. Our local cockles. Take the little squid legs, prawns, then sprinkle over those lovely squid rings, and then those sweet peppers. You can even get nice seasonal veggies like beautiful sweet peas if they're around, courgette flowers. So another 10 minutes to let these beautiful shellfish just pop open, the juices come out, and I can't wait to show you what it looks like. So this beautiful South End paella has had give or take about half an hour, but let's have a little look. Come on, look at that! Yes! The seafood, the meat, and yes, it's not classic, but so much love has gone into it. Finish, very simply, a little sprinkling of parsley, some wedges of lemon, and that's it, guys. Hallelujah. So to be completely authentic, which this paella is not, you should eat it from the pan and with a wooden spoon. So let's do it. If we get into the bottom and turn it over, have we got, yes, the socarrado, the combination between that caramelized crispy bottom and that. Wow, what a joy. I think that might be one of the tastiest things I've had all year. Oh yes, we are gonna do the most amazing beef Wellington. For two, blushing, beautiful beef steak, surrounded by gorgeous outer mushroom filling, crisp golden pastry. Welcome to the world of beef Wellington. A lot of people get freaked out about doing beef Wellington for 10 or 12. It's a big thing, it's very expensive, but if you break it down for two, you can manage it. And it all starts with a beautiful chunk of grass-fed beef fillet. 250 grams. This whole procedure is about celebrating that. So what's the most appropriate herb for beef fillet? Rosemary, an absolute classic. Just run your knife through the rosemary, season it up, then get your fillet steak and just roll it and fold it. That is nicely coated. We're gonna go into a hot pan with a little olive oil, a good knob of butter, a couple of cloves of garlic, and as soon as that starts sizzling up, we go in with the steak. Oh yeah, keep basting it. Just a minute and a half of searing. That'll be completely rare on the inside, so let that cool. And then all this fat has done its job, so we'll get rid of that. We're gonna make a mushroom duxelle, which is basically a mushroom pate. This, wrapped around the beef, is a thing of absolute beauty. So I'm gonna roughly chop a nice red onion. And then straight back in the pan with a fresh little drizzle of olive oil, a small knob of butter, absolutely lovely. So let's talk mushrooms, guys. The great thing about this dish is you could use the cheapest mushrooms or the most expensive, and this is still absolutely sublime. So look, I need 250 grams, which is about that much. Then with the onions, I'll put the smaller ones in whole. Button mushrooms, I can just crush in my hand. Look at that. Season with salt and pepper. Don't forget, we've got the garlic. If you just squeeze it out of the skin, we can put that straight back in here. Now, if you want to pimp it even more, then dried mushrooms are key. These are porcini. You need a tiny amount, literally 3 will make all the difference. Put these in a little glass. Just put some hot water over the top, and the flavour extracted is like a massive fungi stock cube. And just go in with these soaked mushrooms. I'll keep back a little bit of that water for my sauce later. We can also put in any resting juices from our steak. And at this stage, we're gonna wazz it up. Now, you can do this by hand, but I find food processors getting that nice pate-like consistency. Lid goes on, and we'll have a little whiz up. Right, the duxelle is done. Next, I'll show you how to make pancakes. An absolute classic part of this dish to soak up any excess juice out of the beef fillet. So in here, we go with the 1 cup method. So grab yourself any cup. We're gonna do 1 milk, that goes in. We're then gonna go with 1 cup of self-raising flour. Lovely free-range egg goes in, 100 grams of spinach. So I want to add colour and flavour. So lid on top and a nice little wazz. And in no time at all, you get this crazy green pancake batter that is so good. Add a little olive oil to a pan and simply go in with that batter, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Once it's dried up on the top, you can simply just turn it over, give it 10 seconds on the other side. So there we have one lovely, vivid green pancake. So let's bring this together now. We've got the beautiful steak, the mushrooms, this amazing pancake. I'm gonna use this lovely little technique, which is gonna help you build this incredible feat of gastronomy. So I'm gonna add my pancake. I want the heat and the aggression of beautiful English mustard. Go in there with like a teaspoon and a half, boom. So you'll get that color and that heat, and then we'll take the mushroom. So we want just under a centimetre of this incredible mushroom paste. Just spend a little bit of time evenly moving this around. And then once you've done that, we're gonna grab our lovely steak, place that in there like that, and then we're gonna take one corner and another and bring it up. And then if you just twist it, the action of doing that, squeezing out the air, just gives you this perfect little kind of sphere. And that, my friends, is gonna sit inside your pastry and it's gonna be phenomenal. Right, next we want the pastry. So I'm using lovely all butter puff pastry. So I can take this, place it on here, I can use my knife and sort of just trim it up like that. So we can take that off and then I can place it on the pastry. And then I want some egg wash. Just go around the edge like that. So think of it like edible glue. We're gonna lay this over the top and just rotate it. It's just almost like tucking it into bed, right? What I wanna do is just kind of trim around the edge. So now, egg wash this. That is more than perfect enough to whack in the oven, but oh no, 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 no. I wanna do this for someone very special. So I'm gonna go the extra mile. Roll out a chunk of pastry. I only need half. I wanna show you a little technique that's kind of fun. So get a little knife and do little inch slices with a little centimetre gap. When it comes to the second line, we're gonna go an inch slice, but we're gonna go within the gap, like that. Now, they call this a lattice. This is an optional extra I absolutely love. Take your pastry and give it a little shake, and something beautiful will happen. I'm just gonna trim off the excess. Use your thumb and forefinger and push down that edge and have a pinch. Who would have thought a few scores and a few pinches could be so effective? We're gonna cook it in a preheated oven at 220 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes exactly at the bottom of the oven so you get a crispy bun.
Plenty of time to knock up a delicious onion and thyme gravy, finished off with a cheeky glass of port and that leftover porcini liquid. Simmer away until thick and shiny, and you'll have the perfect partner for your beef Wellington.
Ho, 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 ho. Look at that. Gorgeous. It is a thing of utter beauty. Get a sharp knife, commit to the middle, carve down all the way to the bottom, and then the moment of truth. Oh, yes! Come on, man, look at that! Let me introduce you to your new best friend. Beef Wellington for two. Gorgeous. And just add that sauce so it surrounds that Wellington. Happy days. Right, I'm gonna go straight for the middle. Oh, it's so crispy. Right down to the bottom. Right, let's do it. Oh, wow. The beef fillet is so tender. That incredible mushroom d'Uxelles. The pastry's crisp, it's really special, and every now and again, you deserve something special with someone you love. It's Friday, it's steak night, and I want to show you the best steak ever. This is the ultimate T-bone steak, sirloin, fillet, beautiful beef dripping potatoes, and the best condiment ever, salsa verde. Let's do this. First up, I've used some fantastic red skin potatoes. I've cut them into like inch chunks, skin on, right? And then I've whacked them in water with 2 beautiful bulbs of garlic. Now, by parboiling them for about 5 or 6 minutes, you soften the potatoes, but most importantly, you convert that garlic to being creamy on the inside. And when it goes in the pan with the beautiful beef juices, it's gonna be caramelized and gorgeous. So spuds and garlic are on. Back to the steak. What you want to say to your butcher is, can I have a lovely T-bone steak? I want it at least 2 to 2.5 inches thick, 1 big chunk. You get different cuts. You get the sirloin, you get the fillet. This is going to be an epic thing. Get your steak out of the fridge an hour before you cook it. Very important. Now, we can see there's different thicknesses of fat here. Even it out, slice up this fat, put it in a pan. It's going to give you more flavour, because you're cooking steak in steak fat, but also this is going to go on your potatoes. So it's like a double whammy. I'm going to season it generously with black pepper to not just flavour it, but help create a bark, a really dark, gnarly outer skin, leaving you with a juicy, gorgeous, sumptuous inside. Sweep the crispy bits to the side, and then place this steak fat side down. The girth or thickness of the steak is holding itself up. Now, drain the potatoes. One of the benefits of being on the end of a pier, we don't need a sink. Give them a good old shake. So what I'll do is get a bigger pan on, a little bit of olive oil, then go in with our potatoes. What I want to do is season it, and then in with the crispy bits. They got a lot of love to give still. If you have a look in this pan, we can steal a little bit of this beef fat. And this is going to make the best crispy potatoes ever. So back on the heat to get golden and crisp all over. That might take 30 minutes, depending on how big your pan is. So look, back to this steak now. Let's have a little look. Sizzling, dancing fat, gorgeous. So now, onto the bone side. You're going to get that heat going through the middle of the fillet and the sirloin. Also, bone marrow will find its way out, and it will end up kind of getting rubbed on the outside of the steaks, and it's going to be delicious. See that fat? We'll put this meat straight into it. We're going to use this rosemary brush, dab it in that fat, and I can smell already the story is changing. Cook this steak 1 minute each side, and you want to keep as much juice inside that steak as possible. So 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, kissing it with rosemary again. This steak now has had about 4 minutes on each side. I'm going to cook it medium to rare. So that will come off the heat now, and we're going to let that rest, okay? Give it one last kiss of oil to protect the meat. It can dry out if you don't give it a little oil. Just look at these amazing potatoes. I want to add some lovely thyme. If you put the thyme in for the last 10 minutes, you get the most delicious flavour. It's so, so good. So we'll put that back on the heat. That's just now on a low heat, just ticking away. So amazing potatoes, amazing steak. The perfect thing to go with it is the classic salsa verde. It's normally with parsley. I love it with mint also. Grab it at the top and just rip it off. So then we want to add some other fragrant bits and pieces. Gherkins, 2 or 3. Then anchovy, the thing that so divides people. You will not taste the anchovy, but it will give an incredible depth of flavour. Garlic, just a little half clove of garlic, a heaped teaspoon of capers. Now what we do is start to slice up.
Once finely chopped, add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a glug of extra virgin olive oil, and a splash of good vinegar.
This is like the Italians' equivalent of horseradish sauce, mint sauce. Beautiful. And now, time to serve. You can see how the juices have rested out. We love all that. So this is when your friends and family are around. You do not want them to miss out on this bit. Use your carving knife to follow the bone and take off the fillet. Then we've got the other side of the bone. And off it comes. Take the fillet and I can just slice it at an angle. You can go a little bit thicker now on the sirloin. Lay it out with pride. Take the juices and I will pour that all over the steaks. The salsa verde. Look at that. Crispy potatoes. Oh my Lord. That's what it's about. Outrageous. Come on, enough talking, let's just do it. Get yourself one of those gorgeous potatoes. A little bit of steak, nick a bit of the garlic. That beef, melt in your mouth. Every mouthful, you've got flavour, 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 flavour. And that salsa verde is an absolute game changer. The tang of the vinegar and the cornichon, the capers, the garlic. Wow. There you go, lovely people. I know you love your steak and chips nights, but why not take a little bit of inspiration from our Italian brothers and sisters? Cheers. I am so excited to give you a recipe for an amazing homemade pie. Beautiful, crumbly pastry, chicken, sweet leeks, creamy sauce. This is gonna be amazing. It starts here with a chicken. So a nice free-range chicken. What I wanna do first is cut it in half. Just hold the chicken, get the tip, cut down the back, and then down the breast. So in a pan, we'll have just a tiny bit of oil. So chicken goes into the pan. I'm using the whole chicken. You get maximum flavour from the bones and the bone marrow, but also the joy of white meat, brown meat, and the sweet meat is incredible. So we've got a second pan on a medium heat, and what I want to do is start frying off a beautiful base to give you the best pie filling ever. For that, I'm going to start with some smoky bacon. Just cut ourselves some little lardons. So into the pan we go, add a little oil, and that is an incredible welcoming party for vegetables and herbs. So we'll start off with thyme, to rip that in, and then base vegetables. 1 heart of celery, 1 onion, 1 carrot, and 1 leek. Roughly sliced into sort of 1.5 centimetre dice. Into the pan. I don't want the veg so small that it's going to disappear. I want to have chunks of veggies. So about 10-15 minutes of gentle frying. So that gives us time to clean down and make the pastry.
Add 500 grams of plain flour to a bowl, a pinch of sea salt, and 250 grams of very cold butter.
So by grating the butter like that, it just makes it so easy to rub into the flour.
Pour in 100 millilitres of cold water and bring it together.
And kind of hug it. No kneading, just hugging. That's what we want. And I'm gonna just form it into 2 balls.
Divide so it's 1/3 for the lid and 2/3 for the base. Wrap them up and flatten out and leave to chill in the fridge until needed.
If you look in here now, we have a nice bit of colour. That means we've got mega flavour already. I want to turn this into a beautiful sauce to stew that chicken, right? To pull out all that flavour. I'm going to use scrumpy, beautiful cloudy cider. Just a nice little swig goes in. The smell is phenomenal. And we want to cook all of that cider away.
Go in with a heaped teaspoon of English mustard, 2 heaped tablespoons of plain flour, a litre of chicken stock, and bring to a simmer.
At this point in the story, we've created that stewing environment, and we're taking that lovely, crispy golden chicken, and those bones are straight down into that sauce. So lid on top, and just let it blip away for around about an hour until the thigh meat pulls off the bone, and that will be incredible. This fat in the pan, by the way, I'm going to keep that for a little secret later. So the chicken is done. If I just pull the thigh meat, and it should just fall off the bone. That's what we want. Super tender, super delicious, happy days. Oh. So, meat into here. I have been slicing up 500 grams of button mushrooms. By putting the mushrooms in at this stage, you get really sweet, nutty mushroom flavour. Stir that through. Okay, so now 2 forks and just pull that tender meat from the bone. At this point, the bones have done their job. They've given you awesome flavour.
Carefully remove all the bones, add the chunks of chicken back to the stew, and mix through 2 tablespoons of creme fraiche.
So I want this stew to do 2 things. Give me amazing, perfect filling, and then also an incredible sauce. And we can have both by one easy little trick that I love. Get yourself a pan, get yourself a colander, and sieve that filling, the sauce will go through it, and you can reheat that later to pour on top of your pie. Put that to one side, and now we can make our pie. So we'll get our pastry out of the fridge, and we'll roll this out so it's gonna line this beautiful pie dish. What I will do is just give a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of the dish and give it a rub. Put your chilled pastry in between a sheet of greaseproof paper and roll it till it's ½ centimetre thick. Add to the pie dish, pour in the cooled filling, and roll out your pie lid. I don't care if it cracks. I embrace it. Look, I'm gonna tear it. Oh no, there's a crack. It doesn't matter. We're gonna just tear it up and put it in just like that. And as we take in the sides, we're gonna create just a beautiful rustic pie. So just a little egg wash. So I'm gonna cook that now for about an hour, put it at the bottom of the oven. The temperature will be 190 degrees Celsius, which is 375 Fahrenheit, and that will be a thing of beauty. So that glorious pie is nearly done. And I've just knocked up a bit of mashed potato. You guys know how to do that, but what you might not know how to do is make cabbage beautiful. We're gonna do something quick and delicious and amazing. Roughly slice up the cabbage and add to the chicken fat you saved earlier. Cook over a high heat until softened and lightly charred. Add a splash of water, a teaspoon of mustard, and a pinch of salt and white pepper. These three things bring out the most wonderful flavour. Just takes your everyday cabbage to another place. So cabbage is done. Our gravy is bubbling away and reheating nicely. And then, yes, that, my friends, is what I wanted. Look at that. Bubbling, blipping, look. Just so, so good. The hispy cabbage that is soft and succulent, but it's got the char. Good old mashed potato, always a good friend of a pie. Then we'll get a gravy boat. This poured over the top of your pie will be a joyful thing. Oh, look how flaky that pastry is. I'm very excited. Come on. Look at that, we've got the chunks of chicken, the flaky pastry. That is a slice of heaven. Let's have a dunk mash, some of that amazing cabbage done good, and then gravy. Let's get in there. Hallelujah. You know, using the whole chicken gives you the hyper flavour. Everyone deserves to enjoy a good homemade pie. Guys, what are you waiting for? Mel and you lot want to be having on a Friday night. It's time to make homemade kebabs. Woohoo! And this time it's a posh kebab because we're doing a mushroom shawarma, layer upon layer of beautiful mushrooms. We're going to marinate them. We're going to give them gorgeous spices. We're going to get it charred and dark and gnarly, and we'll carve that over beautiful thin flatbreads. You will go mad. So come on, let's do it. Homemade mushroom shawarma. We're pushing the meat aside. We're bigging up this incredible vegetable. So let's start off with the marinades. We'll go into a pestle and mortar with 2 garlic cloves, pinch of salt. Crack this into a paste. It smells fantastic. Then, maybe an unusual ingredient that you've never seen before. These are preserved lemons. The smell and the flavour is almost like a hyper lemon squash. It's extraordinary. So get rid of all the little seeds. Chop these lemons. You'll use the skin and the inside and give that a little pound. For me, this is really, really important to bring out flavour. A heaped teaspoon of smoked paprika. Allspice goes in, cumin goes in. Bash them into the lemon and the garlic. Nick some of the liquor from the lemons. A little bit of olive oil. Look at the colour, guys. So this is the welcoming party for that lot. So, in we go. And you've got incredible flavour. Look at that. Ho, ho, ho. King oysters, they can go in. What I want to do is skewer these. So any mushrooms you can get your hands on, anything that can be skewered is what we're after. I've got about 800 grams here. With these lovely old portobellos, pinch the end and peel them. I will not waste that, okay? So both go in. Fresh bay, I'm going to take a humble onion into quarters and then into petals. So just give it a nice little toss up and that marinade gets in and between the mushrooms. And so get yourself a nice old skewer, and I want to rack this kebab up tight and packed. So remember those gnarly little peelings? That's where a lot of the flavour is. One thing flavours another. One thing cooks into another. It's really good fun. So look at that. Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum, mushroom shawarma. Come on. So that's going to go in a roasting hot oven. There you go. So the kebab's cooking. Let's make homemade flatbreads that's going to wrap up that beautiful thing. We're going to take the 2 cheapest things that you got, which is flour and water. 2 heaped builder's mugs of the strong flour. Just about fill this mug. So it's hot water. Here's the twist. By using the hot water, you're partially cooking the proteins of the bread. Season it with salt, and we'll mix it up. Use a spoon, and then when the dough's not sticky, we can start using our hands. Just move it around like that. So as soon as that dough has cleaned the bowl, we can put that down, give it a little knead, and just work it until it's nice and smooth. So what you can see is we've got a really nice elastic dough, and that's what you get from the hot water. Roll these into 8 little balls, and then what I want to do is just put a damp cloth over the top like that.
While the flatbreads rest, let's check in on those mushrooms.
Have a look at this. So that's had about 15 minutes, and it's beautiful. Come on. If you look in the tray, can you see how the juice from the mushroom creates this stock? So we can use this, giving it a ruddy good basting. This goes back in the oven, and we'll give it about another 15 minutes, guys. Let's do the flatbread. Get a couple of bits of grease-proof paper, and I want to oil these up with some olive oil. Put the dough on that, just pat it out with our hand, and put that on top. Just bring it out like that. It's so kind of bendy and elastic. Peel this off. Now this pan is on a medium-low heat, so just let the heat cook the flatbread. That's all I want to do. Cook, no colour. So the nice thing about this is you could do this the day before or an hour before your friends or family get there. It's really, really easy.
No kebab is complete without the extras.
I'm going to make a little cheat salsa. So I'll take a regular jar of jalapenos, a little food processor, and then choose a nice green herb. I'm going to go for mint. Just be brutal. Take the bunch, rip off the stalks, go in with the leaves, pour in the jalapenos and all of the vinegar, and whiz it up. So for me, this little cheat is a great salsa, full of flavour, and that mint brings it to life. So that is the simplest, cheatiest little salsa going. People are gonna love it.
Get yourself some tahini, cool yogurt, and pomegranate molasses.
This is gonna be an amazing little story. The sweet, the heat, the kind of robust, the refreshing.
It continues with a simple quick pickle, half a diced cucumber, 10 sliced radishes, and 100 grams of quartered cherry tomatoes.
We want to dress that with salt and pepper, simple olive oil, and vinegar. And I want to be fairly generous. One more thing I want to show you. This is dukkha. You can get it in quite a lot of supermarkets now, and it's basically pounded up hazelnuts, spices, and it's classically had with flatbreads and olive oil. Really, really nice. Got a little pile of mint, and it's time now to go and get our kebab. Look at that. I know what you're thinking. Is it burnt? Is it ruined? No, 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 no. This is perfect. We can now take that incredible pomegranate molasses, a little kiss of olive oil. So that's gonna be amazing flavor. We'll get our flatbread and we'll go in at the higher temperature. That high heat has now made the steam inside explode. It puffs it up like a big pillow. You get twists and turns and crispy bits, chewy bits. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, let's build this kebab. We want to start with tahini. Really, really important. On we go. Savory and delicious. Be fairly generous. Then yogurt. Fresh and gorgeous. Time to carve our shawarma now. And as you carve into this and you look into the soul of the shawarma, you also then start to see the balance. We want burn, we want gnarly, but we also want that silky, soft inside. Just absolutely amazing. Okay, so what next? Let's hit it up with some whole mint. Do blobs of the salsa so you get hits of it and waves of it. And then the dukkha. This is texture, it's spice. So look, there's only one thing to do now, and that's roll this lovely thing up. And there is no elegant way to do it. That mushroom has like absorbed so much flavor. The salsa, bing, mint, wah, little bit of molasses, woohoo, and then those like little hits of spice from the dukkha. Wow, and the jalapeno chili. there's a nice hum of heat there. That, my friends, is an absolute artisan version of a street food Friday night classic. Absolutely delicious. This dish is absolutely inspired by our Scottish brothers and sisters, using the incredible spices of haggis. We're going to do lamb shanks that are so tender they're just going to fall off the bone. We're going to have a kick of marmalade, whiskey, and a deep, rich veggie sauce on a creamy, cheesy pearl barley risotto. You're going to love it. So it all begins here with these 6 beautiful lamb shanks. What I like to do is go to my butcher. These have been French trimmed at the top, which expose the bone. They look absolutely beautiful. I'm going to kiss them with just a little olive oil, and I'll season these with salt and pepper. And then what we want to do is get that into a frying pan, which is on a medium heat. So we want to brown off the lamb shanks to get beautiful colour, to create more flavour. Now, at the same time, add a little olive oil to a pan. I'm just going to finely chop 4 slices of smoked bacon. Then go in with some bay leaves for flavour. The smell is already incredible. So next ingredient, onions. I'm going to use 1 white and 1 red. I want to cut them quite big. In with the onions, couple of carrots, nice big chunks of carrot. Then we're going in with our friend Mr. Swede. Ultimately what I'm after is 1-inch chunks. Last but not least, the humble celery stick. And in we go. What we're doing now is intensifying and caramelizing like natural sugars in the veggies. 15 minutes dedicated to colour, colour, colour. So, let's talk spices. Haggis, such an incredible dish. The spicing is brilliant.
So go into a mortar with those classic haggis spices. A tablespoon of black pepper, 10 allspice berries, 5 cloves, and grate in half a nutmeg. Bash them together until fine and sieve them over the veg.
This is all getting very exciting. I can even be a little bit cheeky and steal a little bit of the lamb fat, full of flavour. You can see caramelising in full effect. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of thick cut marmalade. It's going to make everything shine and it's going to start to caramelise even more. I want to add a thickening agent now. So 1 generous heaped tablespoon of flour, and then one of my favourite ingredients, 4 shots of really nice Scotch whisky. Now, if you want, what you can do is flame it. Of course, when you're flaming, be careful, because you want the alcohol to cook away fully. As soon as that's happened, add this amazing golden lamb shank. Look at that colour. Any sticky bits from the pan can go in.
Pour in a litre of beef stock, then scrunch up a sheet of greaseproof paper and cover the pot.
So I love to put the greaseproof on instead of a lid, because what happens is it lets it slowly evaporate, concentrate in that lovely gravy, and it's going to be richer and tastier for it. So I'm going to cook that now for 3 hours at 170 degrees Celsius, and the oven's going to do all the hard work and make it so tender you won't believe. Now, I want to show you how to make the most delicious sweet leek pearl barley risotto. With these lovely big leeks, concentrate on the white part. Cut it in half lengthwise, like that, and I just want to finely slice the leeks.
Add a knob of butter to a new pan, a couple of sprigs of thyme, then go in with your leeks. Add a splash of water and cook over a medium heat for 15 minutes.
The leeks have just been ticking away. Have a look at that. The softness and sweetness that's come out of these leeks is unbelievable. We can add 450 grams of pearl barley. Now look, these are fantastic little grains. And it has this incredible ability, just like risotto grains, to suck up flavour from not only the leeks that are sweet and delicious, but good stock.
Go in with 1.5 litres of chicken stock, cover and cook for around 40 minutes until the barley is tender.
The pearl barley is smelling delicious, and if we have a little taste, oh, it's delicious. What I want to do is just add about 500 mils of milk to sort of make it pearly white. And there's one last ingredient, cheddar cheese. Not only for flavour, but also for seasoning. In we go, and just stir it in. Turn the heat off. Let it just sit. beautifully, kind of getting even more silky and gorgeous. Let's think about serving up. Have a little look at that. Come on, chunks of veg. Let's grab one of those shanks. Just amazing. And then let's go over to that incredible pearl barley. Look at that starchy, comforting gorgeousness. I'll take just a few thyme tips, sprinkle it on the top. Come on, let's get some of that. See how silky it is? I'll go in with the veg first. Look at those chunks. And what I love is the way that the dark, thick gravy marbles through that silky barley risotto. Wowzers, let's get amongst it. And we know we've done good work on the lamb when you can just shake the meat off the bone. Come on, look at that, yes! Right, enough yapping. Deep flavour, tender, sweet meat. I've just got a little hit of marmalade, just a little chunk of that orange peel works so well with the swede, the whiskey, the dark gravy. Oh, go out this weekend, get yourself some lamb shanks and have a proper little cook-up. You will love it. It's the weekend and it's time for a game on curry.
This curry is packed with game birds, full of flavour and the most gorgeous silky aubergines in a rich, fiery sauce served with my super easy coconut breads.
So, I'm going to try and break it down and give you some cheats, but also give you the real deal.
Like all good curries, this one starts with a paste up.
Fenugreek seeds, garam masala, cumin, fennel, turmeric, onions, chilli, garlic, ginger, sugar, peanut butter. If you wanted to buy any kind of curry paste, instead of that, it will still be very good. This will be super good. So let's toast up some spices.
Get the whole seeds into a dry pan first to release their flavours. And then the ground spices like turmeric, as they need less toasting time. Then whack in some onions.
We're now going to start introducing fruity, delicious heat. Chilies, I will take the trouble to de-seed them. If you get rid of some seeds in the white membrane, that's where 60% of the heat is. I want a nice thumb-sized piece of ginger. Just roughly chop it. In we go. 4 cloves of garlic. Just throw those in whole. So I'm not putting oil at this stage of the curry base, okay? I'm just using the dry heat because what I'm going to do next is smash it up to a paste. And for that, I'm going to use the oldest kitchen gadget in the world, the pestle and mortar.
I'm going to pound up coriander stalks, tamarind paste, chunky peanut butter, and for an authentic sweet and spicy flavour, brown, unrefined sugar. We'll bash that all up in a minute once we've got going with the game birds.
You could do just chicken, cool. But what joy, what flavours, it's natural wild food. We've got pheasant here. It's kind of like chicken but with more flavour. We've got quails here. Over here we've got lovely partridge. I mean, truly delicious, delicious food. It's gonna be amazing. So, we have a humble chicken leg. It has a joint here. Go in the middle and you cut through it and give it a little tap, right? We take the little shin off here with the heel of a knife and there you have 2 perfectly lovely bits. We're gonna go dry in to the pan.
The quail can go in whole and portion up the partridge and pheasant.
If you're scared, go mainly chicken and put a few little bits in. But come on, life's too short to do the same old, but what I will guarantee you is an amazing curry.
Dry fry for 3 or 4 minutes, plenty of time for me to get pounding.
Just bruising, bashing, there's no right or wrong way to do this. The noise, the smell, the colours, right? Just get in there and mush it up. And when it looks like that, come on, look at that.
Leave it a bit chunky and now start building the layers of flavour.
New ingredient, curry leaves. You can get it in good supermarkets. This transforms your curries. The savouriness and subtle spice that curry leaves give, I mean, it's next level. It's ridiculous.
Go in with 1 spoonful of your pounded paste.
And a few little tosses, and that game will never be the same again. Over to the aubergines. Look at this. We got fat ones, short ones, round ones, long ones, spotted ones, right? It's such a massive family. I want to just cut inch slices like that, right? And then grab a slice and cut 3/4 of the way down. We're making a little sandwich, right? We're making a curry paste sandwich. See this long one here? right? So we just done it a different way, right? Same, but different. It doesn't matter how you do it, just ram it in there, and there you go, into here. And then bang that in the oven for 40 minutes.
While the curry ticks away at 190 degrees Celsius, I'm going to show you my soft, silky coconut breads.
So get a tin of coconut milk into a bowl. You can put in a little olive oil, and then we are going to add self-raising flour, right, until we get a dough.
It'll take 4 or 5 minutes for your mixture to come together.
Just work it. You've got to really get in there.
Then roll it out and split it into 8.
Just push it right down to the base, and I want to get those little finger marks happening. Little oil, butter goes in, and then in the butter we go.
2 or 3 minutes on each side.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And these boys will puff up and get crispy. Perfect for your weekend curry night.
Look at that. You could actually serve it like this, but if you want to give it a sauce, we're back on the coconut milk. If you pour it in a little gap and let it boil, as soon as it comes to the boil, that's it, we're done.
To soak up this rich, meaty curry, you can't beat fluffy basmati rice.
That's a bit of pheasant there. There's an amazing aubergine. Got a bit of partridge in there. You got a bit of chicken in there. And get some of that juice. Get in there with the juice.
And because it's the weekend, let's go all out with those flatbreads, crispy poppadoms, some pickles, and mango chutney.
I love having really lemony salad in there. Look at this. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Let's get in there. Let's try what we've been investing in. Let's get some of that sauce. It's so good. Bit of pheasant there. Absolutely dreamy. The game works so well with the curry. The aubergine is fantastic because it sucks up all the flavour. That, my friends, is game on curry. Right, boys, you have a beer, which means you're halfway there. The poppadoms we think we always have as the crispy bits, but traditionally they just have as crunchy bits.
I was just looking forward to
No, you just have it.
It's just turned into dust. How is that, Josh?
It's delicious. I've never had game curry. The aromatic sort of flavors of the spices, it's fantastic.
Oh my God, that is delicious.
Very good.
That bread takes about 3 minutes to make, and it takes about 3 minutes to cook.
And about 3 seconds to eat.
Yeah. Have you ever been a waiter?
I haven't, actually.
You haven't?
No.
Until today, brother.
Until today.
This is your first casting.
Exactly.
I'll let you know if you get the job.
Excuse me. All right, so you guys, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have any plates. Who's working in this joint? You guys are the ones with plates.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take their plates. There we go. Sorry.
It's so tender, really soft, and the coconut flatbread. Oh my gosh.
You never think to have game in a curry, but it kind of works as well as chicken does. It's brilliant.
It definitely tastes really, really indulgent, like it should be eaten at the weekend.
The only way I've ever made a curry is with a jar and a chicken breast and rice. So this is a whole different ballgame.
Guys, we're gonna make a cannelloni like you've never seen before.
I'm filling tubes of soft pasta with British rosé veal and free-range pork in an amazing white ragu sauce, topped off with cheese and mushrooms and balanced on a bed of stinging nettles.
It's gonna be so, so good. So let's start off with slicing up some onions. Add bay and thyme to a pan, add olive oil. So as the herbs heat up, you can see it like pop and splurt, and the perfume and the aroma is phenomenal, truly phenomenal. That's a brilliant beginning to a story of a comfort food classic. Then leeks. The flavour from the leeks is incredible. Very often when I use leeks, I also put a knob of butter in. They just cook so beautifully.
Garlic, celery, and the perfect amount of seasoning give my ragu its base notes.
and let that sweat off for about 5 or 10 minutes just to get soft and sweet and delicious.
For the meat, I'm marrying equal amounts of ethical and delicious British rosé veal and free-range pork shoulder, which will add fat and another whole layer of flavour.
Perfect combination. And remember, we're not after caramelisation or dark browned off colour, right? We're keeping this blonde and white and gentle and creamy. It's going to be great. Oh, smells amazing. Now, to that, we're going to add a little white wine, something nice that you'll be drinking later on. Just peel yourself 2 nice big potatoes. I really like using the potatoes in this ragu. It seems to sort of like suck up the flavour beautifully.
Then add 2 heaped tablespoons of flour, seasoning and half a nutmeg.
Get the flavours going, and then in with 2 litres of whole milk.
While the ragu we know uses tomatoes, the magic ingredient for my white ragu is milk.
If I just put it in the oven like that, it will be really dry in 2 hours. I'll use some greaseproof paper, and it kind of controls how much escapes. And it's just going to blip away. It's going to be amazing.
After 2 hours at 160 degrees Celsius, which is 320 degrees Fahrenheit, my ragu should be ready.
Have a look at that. It's almost like a rice pudding underneath there. And can you see how the milk has split off? And you've got these miniature little curds, almost like little bits of ricotta. Gorgeous.
Strain it, lift out the herbs, and you've made 2 parts at once.
Now that ragu goes into the tubes, and this natural sauce underneath becomes the sauce that you just put over the top. Next is the curveball, and it's that. Stinger nettles. These little bad boys, they grow everywhere. I wish I didn't have to put these on because I feel so unmanly. But welcome, it's the weekend. We're just going to take the leaves off the stalk. It couldn't be easier. And before you start thinking Jamie's gone mad, let's just cover up a few things, right? They're free, they're delicious, they're really nutritious, and of course, they won't sting you anymore when you've cooked them. So come on, be open-minded and go and pick some stingers.
Of course you could swap them for spinach, but cooking them couldn't be easier. Add some garlic to olive oil and butter, wilt the leaves and the sting will disappear.
What I like to do is actually use some chili flakes to season, right, just to give it a nice little hum. See how quickly they wilt down, just like spinach. There you go, look at that. Give it a nice seasoning, and job is a good one.
You could eat it just like this, but today it's the base for my cannelloni.
Next is a fun bit.
Simply use dried cannelloni straight from the packet.
Get this little tube and just kind of touch the side, and it should naturally just fill itself up. I'm lining them up like little soldiers in the tray. And it's the weekend, right? It's fun to make, kind of like a lot of love going into this. It's about sharing, family, feasting, gatherings.
In my book, you really can't have comfort food without cheese. So I've got 3 amazing British belters to add to our sieved sauce.
I've got some fantastic Montgomery's cheddar. I've got some Mrs. Kirkham's Lancashire. I've got a lovely Berkswell cheese here as well. You get a depth of flavour and a rusticness that you wouldn't get with just bechamel.
Then it's topped with some extra cheese and a scattering of beautiful nutty button mushrooms.
And let it just rain on top. And because they're not touching any sauce, they're going to bring out a different flavour. And then simply finish it off with a little extra virgin olive oil. And that, my friends, is a weekend dish to feast on. Let's get it in the oven.
After 40 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, and a short rest, this bad boy is ready.
Absolutely beautiful. Come on, let's serve it up. Yes. You got the dense green stinger nettles in the bottom. Nice little green salad. This is a cannelloni fit for kings. Oh yeah, absolute heaven. The guys at the cafe are gonna go wild for this. I'm so excited to show you this recipe. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the fish dish of the century.
It's a roast, but not as you know it. 2 sides of succulent salmon with a beautiful stuffing of artichoke and almond.
Get yourself a clean surface. We're gonna use extra virgin olive oil and then have a little rub. right? We don't want it to sort of stick. I'm gonna season the surface with freshly ground black pepper and salt.
I'm going to tie the roast up later, so get prepped now with strips of string. Lay out the salmon and season it.
Then we're gonna create like a stuffing, and we often associate stuffing with roast chicken, you know, stuffing legs of lamb and stuff like that, but we can do this with fish as well.
I'm getting the stuffing going with toasted almonds and stale ciabatta.
You do get a different flavour from stale bread, more of a savouriness.
Lemon zest and garlic will add some punch. Then just blitz it up.
So this is, look, oh, the smell. Toasted almonds and garlic. Okay, so this is the beginning of the stuffing. Just put it along here like that. When that starts to bake, the fats from the fish will go in to the bread here. It's gonna be amazing. Next up, we're gonna celebrate artichokes. Here's the preserved artichokes. Everyone can get this. It's in all the supermarkets.
And if they're in season, you can double your artichoke hit by adding fresh ones.
And they're kind of easy to prep. Let me show you how to do it. Just peel back the outer leaves. And then you want to just trim off the end until the light part here. Trim off the base of the stalk. Now, one thing that's important is to use a bit of lemon. And just rub this over the artichoke because these will oxidize straight away. Within 1 minute, they'll go black. And that don't look so cool. So that is your artichoke. Let me show you the choke. Can you see it there like that? It's fluffy. It won't hurt you, but it's not that nice to eat, so we remove it.
It's worth the effort, I promise. What's left is truly delicious. Get them into a pan with a good splash of the artichoke oil from the jar.
Artichokes go in. Mint and artichokes are best friends. We'll just chop that up like that. Mint goes in. Oh, the smell is amazing. And that's all we need. We don't really need to cook that. We're just heating it through and softening it. And if I just kind of pinch it off like that, look at that. Oh, and that, my friends, is the stuffing with a difference.
Season the other side of the salmon and place it on top. And over that, smoked bacon. Its fat is going to melt down right over the salmon.
It's going to be beautiful.
Top it off with a bunch of fresh thyme. Then tie up your evenly spaced string and parcel this fish up.
Let's take this beautiful thing and get it into the tray at an angle. Gather up all your bits. Put it over the top. And this is food that makes me happy. This I want you to try.
To give you the most amazing crispy skin, preheat your oven to full whack, and as soon as you put the fish in the oven, turn it right down to 180 degrees Celsius and cook for 35 to 40 minutes.
Come on! Look at that. What a picture, what an excitement. Can you imagine that at the weekend? I can't wait to show you what's happened on the inside. Oh, yes, you know it. Look how juicy that is.
Some simply boiled new potatoes and fresh baby spinach complement this perfectly.
Let's have a little try. It's really good. The perfume of the artichoke is so good, and the smoky bacon is insane. What a wonderful, different dish for the weekend. The guys in the cafe are gonna love this. Are you feeling a little bit of love could come your way?
There is love, man. The presentation and the smell of it is.
Look at that.
But that salmon, like, oh man.
This, I'm gonna give you a nice little wedge. Look how juicy that is.
Man.
Ah,
That's so good.
and you see how it's blushing in the middle? A little bit of just the yogurt kind of kicks it up sometimes.
There's all this stuff around.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, give me some of that.
Dude,
yeah,
crispy bits.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad.
Now we're
bonding on a
connected.
crispy bits
yeah,
level.
You
It's
gave
all
me
about
that.
the crispy bits.
Yes. You get stuck in, mate.
Man, does it taste good. You, my friend, should do a couple books or something, do a little TV show. Sorry if I'm lost for words, it's just that I might be like tucking into this little bad boy that you give me.
Great, how do you feel about, you know, picking up some waiter skills?
Of course.
Are you happy to serve our lot?
It'd be a pleasure.
You're going to be busy.
I'm ready, man. Sorry. The waiter was getting carried away. How you feeling, man? Don't worry, there's no drippage, no drippage. Oh, it's coming your way. I see them smiles. Ooh. me get a little vibe like this. Let me just use that there. No, I broke it up so you could just see what's inside.
What do you think of the bacon?
So good.
When it came out, I just thought it looked amazing.
It's the weekend! Time for some beautiful finger-licking ribs.
This is a proper weekend treat. Melt in your mouth whiskey wood-smoked baby back ribs with homemade barbecue sauce and a perfectly light potato salad.
Not American style, not Asian style or Korean style, British style. So first up, you'd normally make a rub, but I'm gonna switch that for a flavoured salt. And we're adding 100 grams of sea salt, and then probably around 50 grams of white pepper. Whole corns going in like that, 2 tablespoons. And then I'm gonna use 10 fresh bay leaves.
Just use a couple of tablespoons of the salt and give them a nice massage with a splash of olive oil. You can save the rest for another recipe.
So before we wrap this up, we want to add a little bit of moisture. So you could use water, or you could use a little whiskey. Just a shot.
That's the ribs oven ready. The sauce is just as simple, kicking off with a splash more whiskey.
Just because I'm flamboyant these days, what I want to do is just set light to that. It'll just evaporate the alcohol and bring out more caramelised, rounder notes. You don't have to do it. Just don't burn the place down.
This is going to give the ribs a knockout sticky glaze full of British flavours. Brown sauce, tomato sauce and Worcestershire sauce.
This is the crazy sauce. It couldn't be simpler. We're decanting stuff that most of us have in our cupboard.
A whole jar of English mustard, a bottle of apple juice and a jar of runny honey.
It's quintessentially British. It's about that tang and that beautiful finish on the palate.
Bring the whole lot to a boil and it's ready to reduce in the oven.
I am going to put the ribs on the top, whack the sauce in the bottom. We're going to cook it at 140 degrees Celsius.
Leave your ribs alone for 3 hours and enjoy the weekend. By the time you're back, the ribs will be beautifully soft.
If I pull the meat here, you know, it's tender. We want the barbecue sauce to just coat it. You know, it's quite good to pour it instead of brush it. I think you get a better appearance. We can just move our ribs around and just coat them. Gorgeous. So get your bars out of the oven. And then what I want to do is just rack them up like that.
All the leftover sauce can be bagged up or used at the table for dipping.
So these go back in.
These need another 30 minutes for the sauce to fix to them. And there's a genius hack that I do all the time to get them all smoky. You can easily get yourself some wood chips sold for smoking. You can get fruit woods or even bourbon and whiskey barrel.
If you're blagging it at home, a metal sieve like this, you can just grab a little handful of these chips. You just catch them on fire. So it's not dangerous, okay? And then we'll put this in the oven. You can see the flame subside and the smoke rotate around the whole oven. It's a brilliant little hack for a little house smoker.
You don't have to do this, but if you do, make sure your sieve is stainless steel. And if in doubt, check with your oven manufacturer that it's safe.
So let's do an epic potato salad.
I'm massively reducing the usual calories by using yogurt instead of mayonnaise. Flavoured with good extra virgin olive oil, whole grain mustard, finely sliced pickled onions, and a little vinegar from the jar, and chives.
And then last but not least, a little surprise ingredient, pear. You know, that little bit of sweetness and crunch really works well. This is about having contrast and surprise.
Mix in chopped up soft-boiled new potatoes whilst they're still warm so they absorb all the dressing much better.
It's still creamy, it's still absolutely indulgent.
Give it a last kiss of extra virgin olive oil and a flourish of chives.
Now, let's get the ribs. Smells amazing. That barbecue sauce just tightens up. It's the perfect surround for that tender, delicious meat. Wow. Let's get a nice wodge of that potato salad. Get those beautiful, beautiful ribs.
Amazing home-smoked British ribs, finished with a little extra sauce and sliced radishes for a peppery crunch.
And that, my friends, is a beautiful, beautiful plate of food. Come on, let's get in there. Oh, tender meat, so spicy, sweet and sour, and proper potato salad. Really joyful, perfect for the weekend. I know the guys in the cafe are gonna go nuts for this. I've got the most amazing dish to share with you. Prosciutto wrapped fillet of beef with creamy porcini mushrooms. It's gonna make you look great, and it's brilliant for dinner parties. Let's start it off. We've got a hot pan here. We've got a fillet of beef there. I'm gonna sear this for just a little minute. Some salt and pepper goes on the beef like this. Get that pan really nice and hot. You don't want to cook the beef really, you just want to kind of sear the outside and get that character and colour developing. And that's all you want to do. In that same pan, we're going to start the story with the mushrooms. These are porcini mushrooms. They're picked and they're sliced and they're dried, often in the sun. What's more interesting is the flavour changes massively. It's like the difference between a sun-dried tomato and a fresh tomato, a raisin and a grape.
Bring them back to life with a nice hot soaking.
So the water is going to rehydrate these mushrooms. See how they're getting soft? Look at the colour of the broth.
Porcini go hand in hand with the flavours of garlic, rosemary and thyme. So get these softening slowly in some butter.
The smell is amazing. And then we're going to go in with our porcini. I'm going to add nearly all of that juice. Can you see how there's a little bit of grit at the end here? And we don't want that. We're going to let that cook for 3 or 4 minutes, and there will be a moment when like the beef fat and the oil and the butter and the beautiful mushroom broth come together as an emulsion, and that is the creamy bit, right? It's going to be amazing, and that's going to be wrapped around the beef. So how do we do that? Let me show you. Get some grease-proof paper. I'm going to use extra virgin olive oil just to have a little rub up here because we don't want anything sticking. Take about 8 slices of prosciutto. We want to kind of overlap. Each piece comes one giant sheet. So let's have a little measure up. Yep, that's looking pretty good. You want to be able to roll it up. Yep, I'm happy with that. Now, over here, quickly. Look, 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 look. Right, so now you get that creaminess. And off the heat, I'll add another little knob of butter and 10 drips of lemon. We'll transform this. Let that cool down for 5 minutes, or if you're on the end of Southend Pier, go outside for 1 second. Well, that was nice. Just lay the mushrooms, and there's not loads, in and around a sheet of prosciutto. I love the honesty and simplicity of the flavours. Mushroom, garlic, herbs, prosciutto, beef. So now in with the fillet of beef. Put it here at the end, and we roll it up and keep rolling. You know, fold the sides in, give it a nice little hug like that. We are going to start tying things up.
I've got some butcher's string, but you can use any kitchen string to secure.
What I do to help myself is do one twist, one knot, and then another. And then what's kind of cute is you can pull it and get a bit of tension there, and the knot doesn't slip. Put it tight, and there you go. That is a gorgeous fillet of beef.
I've got an oven and a roasting tray super hot at 220 degrees Celsius, which is 425 Fahrenheit.
I'm just going to place the beef straight in here.
And add the gorgeous flavours of rosemary, thyme and garlic.
And that's going to go in the oven for exactly 25 minutes.
A dish like this deserves great mashed potato to complete it. Made silky with a good knob of butter, a splash of milk, and don't forget the seasoning.
I want to give you another little tip for sort of dinner parties. What I like to do is put it into a little bowl like this, and you can keep it above some simmering water, and it'll keep it in perfect condition for hours. The beef has had exactly 25 minutes. Have a little look at this. Oh, come on! Just baste it, all the juice is coming out. Look at that. Let's get this onto a board. We can take the garlic cloves out as well, and they're really beautiful and caramelised.
trim off the string, it's done its job. With the roasting juices, start a really simple red wine sauce.
So the same wine that you're serving your guest, you'll also serve your tray, okay? And I want about a wine glass in there. And you're just going to bring it to the boil, clean the bottom of the pan, and when the wine and the fat emulsifies to be sort of creamy and gorgeous, that's it, it's done. Let's just have a confident cut at the end, like that. Oh, it's looking good. Just blushing and cooked to real perfection. So I quite like having a nice kind of inch slice. Let's pick it up, pop it into our mash. Take some greens. So as soon as that fat and liquid comes together, take it off the heat, then add the butter. And they call this Monty au beurre. You know, just gonna jiggle in some butter. Take a little spoon, straight over like that. Right, come on, let's get in there. Wowzers. That, my friends, is an absolute weekend classic that I know everyone up there is gonna love. Guys, we're gonna make pho, a classic French Vietnamese dish, which actually, faux pas, it should be called pho. It's a celebration of the most delicious broth.
This dish is all about steaming beef broth. In Vietnam, chefs are famous for making it rich, light and nourishing. Noodles, seared beef, bean sprouts and herbs, their flavours come alive as the boiling broth is poured over them.
This is the key, bones. The convenience of the stock cube is fine, but that ain't stock. This will be.
Have a conversation with your butcher about beef bones.
This has got marrow in it as well, so this is like a super bone, because this will just jellify and just fall out. We want to roast it. We want to develop and amp up that flavour.
With a killer combo of Asian favourites, sesame oil, cinnamon, star anise, cloves and ginger.
Squash it. That's what we want. When you roast that, it tastes completely different than chopping it or slicing it. Okay, it's amazing.
Get these into an oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for a couple of hours.
So what you get is the most amazing smells. Let the marrow melt out. Let the spices toast. Let the fat render. Let the flavour develop with caramelisation and the kind of browning of bones. Then we're going to add another layer of flavour to the story. We have a couple of beautiful lemongrass and just give it a slap to break it up and get that in.
Follow it up with 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce and fill near to the brim with water.
Bring that to the boil now, at least 2 hours. If it takes 3 or 4 hours and you keep topping it up with water, it's all good. But you want to develop and extract as much flavour from those bones as possible.
After as many hours as you can give it, magic happens.
Let's have a little taste. Heavenly. The depth of flavour, it makes me feel good. The broth is done.
The steak is simple and foolproof too.
Now I'm slightly mixing it up because I'm using a cut of meat that I think is underloved. Skirt of beef. You have to cook this medium rare, really, for it to be tender. What I'm going to do is add just a little oil to a hot pan. I'm going to get into the pan here, really screaming hot pan. I'm also going to take an onion, cut it into quarters. I want to just scald it and char it. We're going to basically brown it. I'm going to cook it medium rare blue. Onions, just bash them up, break them up. You don't need to cook them loads, okay? You want a little bit of life left in them, but that char, that smokiness, we do want. Beautiful.
This is traditionally served with a little pickled garlic.
It's a lovely little condiment that, you know, think of it like horseradish sauce on your roast beef.
I'm going to brine with a pinch of salt and sugar and a splash of vinegar.
And then just a tiny little spoon will just be a little pep. I'm going to add boiling water, dissolve that salt and sugar, and there we go, guys.
Most supermarkets sell white or brown rice noodles, and they just need soaking in boiling water.
Let's load up. And then I'm going to slice up some gorgeous beef. Imagine this at the dinner table. Come on, guys. Look at that. And you can see how raw that is, but don't forget the broth is going to cook it.
Add some crunch with spring onions, chilies, bean sprouts and fresh herbs.
Let's put some of that amazing garlic and that brine. Gorgeous. Then we go in with that fantastic broth over the meat, and it will start to change colour, and the herbs will infuse. That, my friends, is a beautiful thing. Look how the hot broth cooks that rareness out of the steak, but it's going to be really tender and gorgeous. This is a really beautiful, therapeutic dish for this cold, windy day. They're going to love it.
Oh, look at that, Jum. I think Warwick's drooling.
For me, the thing here is all about the broth.
That's the broth.
When I pour the broth over the meat, you're actually cooking it.
Yeah, look at that.
So you see that meat change, and then, of course, when it hits the herbs, it becomes almost like an infusion, like a cup of tea.
And the aromas are incredible. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's quite spicy.
Wow. How are you getting on with that?
The meat's great, lovely.
And the broth?
Really nice. The broth. I mean, the combo's great. How are we eating the noodles? They're not playing ball here. They just don't want to get on
Feel
it.
free to slurp. It's okay to slurp. It's all about getting it in there.
I mean, I never get indigestion when I'm eating with chopsticks because you just eat so slowly.
But Warwick, I'm glad you're enjoying this.
I am enjoying it. I'm loving
because you've now got to serve it to this lot.
Have I?
You up for that?
One more mouthful and then I'm out there. I mean, a lot of actors are waiters in their spare time,
I
aren't
always
they?
got jealous of the guys that used to work in diners with roller skates.
Mate, you in hot pants, roller skates, tray, that big J on the front, big flashing pants.
You put me off the food. Jimmy, perhaps just follow me with a mop. Right, service coming through. Excuse me, thank you very much. Right, this is for you guys. So, we have here a Vietnamese dish. Oh, yes, I know, that's the right reaction. It's a skirt, which is better than the blouse of steak, and it's got a bit of kick to it. And then we're going to add the broth here, live, OK?
Have you got the kick yet?
I've got the kick.
Absolutely wonderful.
Delicious.
Yes, very light, but there's a lot of flavour inside it. I'm struggling with the chopsticks.
We're going to do the ultimate homemade kebabs. Yes.
I'm going to get chips, char-grilled Welsh lamb, nestled amongst salsa, feta and spiced yoghurt, and hugged in a homemade flatbread.
Right, you get it? Let's do it. OK, so first up, the humble chip. I don't want to be deep frying. It stinks the house out.
Cut about 1.5 kilos of Maris Piper potatoes into chunky chips and parboil for about 7 minutes and drain.
Obviously, you can use a sink, but I'm in the great outdoors. We're going to season it with salt, pepper, and the herb of choice, dried oregano. Toss it in that olive oil. Come on. Get them in the oven at 190 degrees Celsius for about 40 minutes until golden and crisp. You've got a shoulder of lamb from Wales on the bone. Get it from your butchers, have a little chat. We're going to take chunks off. Don't go nuts about removing all the fat. Most of that fat is going to cook away. What do you do with the bone? Next time you make a stock, a broth, right, this is going to give extreme flavour. Don't let anything go to waste.
So now, a simple stunning marinade for the lamb.
Garlic, oregano, lemon juice, olive oil. Yeah, that's going to be beautiful. So once you've done that, let's give it a toss in the marinade. Look at that. If you can leave that overnight, hallelujah. If you want to cook it straight away, it's all good. It's all good. I have a nice skewer here, so just load it up, pack it in, and it'll be scruffy as, it'll be chunky.
Every so often, stick a slice of fat between the layers of meat.
It will kiss and look after the meat on its journey out. Is it worth it? Yes. Let's put that aside for 1 second.
Let the lamb soak up the marinade whilst you knock up the easiest flatbreads ever.
The recipe is 350 grams of self-raising flour and 350 grams of yogurt. Basically, you just add the yogurt until you get a dough. It's as simple as that. A good pinch of salt. You can add a little oil and just use a fork to start off with. You can see it come together like breadcrumbs, a nice, pliable, elastic dough. That's what you want.
When the dough is smooth, roll out and divide into 6. These will be ready to go whenever you are.
And then this salsa we're going to do could not be simpler and more beautiful.
grate up corner shop kebab classics, cucumber, red onion, white cabbage and tomato.
It goes to like a slurry, a pulp. Look at that.
Seasoning, olive oil and vinegar will bring out truckloads of flavour.
Salsa sunshine, all happening.
To top it all off, we've got feta cheese and yoghurt with a dusting of paprika. But for the main event,
here is our beautiful kebab, straight on the grill. Push it down. And we're just gonna turn it and get it gnarly. So just spend 10 minutes loving it, taking care of it. It looks almost burnt. We want that because it's gonna be blushing on the inside. And that contrast is a thing of beauty. And then get your giant kebab onto a tray in the oven with the chips and cook it through for half an hour.
When your lamb is nearly ready, you can prep your yoghurt flatbreads.
So quick to make, quick to roll out, and even quicker to cook. Look at that. Right, in the oven, it's time for the kebab and the chips. Don't forget the chips. Ho, 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 ho. See how the side comes up? It's beyond the chip. Come with me on this journey, people. Come, because I'm going to take this kebab, hack it. It's messy. It's beautiful. This bit where it's still blushing, you can still put that back on. But guys, let's build one. So let's start with the chips. Let's get it in there. Let's have some juices from there. Let's have some of that lovely lamb. We'll take some of that sunshine salsa and just bop it here and there. A little squeeze of lemon juice. Some yogurt, little whips of it over the top, and a seasoning of feta cheese. Calm down. Then roll it up, hug it, plug up the end, and then plug up the other end with your mouth. Oh yeah, that is what I'm talking about. You've got that sunshine salsa that just wakes it all up. The feta, of course, the chips and the bread just mopping up all the juices. So good. I'm telling you one thing, all the guys down at the cafe are gonna absolutely love this. And we've even got Welsh lamb for Greg. Yes. So lovely people, it's the weekend. You deserve to do something gorgeous for you that makes you feel good. Something that you love so much you can't stop eating it because it's so good. For me, that is kedgeree. It is kind of like an Anglo-Indian stir-fried rice. Kedgeree. I love it. Flakes of smoked haddock, lemony flavours. So before me is a simple array of beautiful things. The heroes of the dish are rice. Just boil it 12 minutes until it's cooked, drain it and let it cool down. You need cold rice. Then you have smoked haddock. Look at that, natural, no dyed. That's going into some warm water that's coming up to a simmer.
You can flavour up the poached water with some lemon rind and any herbs you find to hand. Coriander is perfect.
Let's get the rice base going. So I'm going to go into a cold pan with some oil. I'm going to go in with a nice generous knob of butter.
Before that gets too hot, whack in a good dose of garlic and ginger so they cook gently without burning.
So the ginger goes in. I'm going to use fennel seeds, 1 onion, red. Get that in the pan. And the sweetness of the onions, the hum of the garlic, and the whole kind of zing and fragrance of the ginger. So it's a brilliant story thus far. I might add another little knob of butter in the middle of the pan, and then a big old teaspoon of curry powder. Look at that, and get it on that butter in the middle and bring it back to life. We can add a nice pinch of salt.
I'm going for bold flavours with 2 red chillies, but strip out the seeds to keep the heat at bay.
It smells incredible. The thing that kedgeree for me is famous for, and most good Essex people, is a hangover. Yes, you got it. That kind of, you know, is it a fry-up or a kedgeree? Kedgeree works, spice works.
No kedgeree is complete without a poached egg, and I've got a foolproof way to do them.
So what I want to do is get a sheet of cling film and with some olive oil, have a rub up, and then I'm going to put a little bowl underneath, and then I can just crack in an egg. Now, you can flavour it if you want, but you could put flecks of chilli in there. You can add a little truffle oil, and this gives you the most perfect little sphere of poached egg. It's wonderful. So squeeze the air out, tie a knot, tie it into a little Tom Thumb little package like this, and this will cook just like a normal poached egg in the water. Let that poach away, and we go on to the next stage.
Right, let's get some greens going on. First up, lots of fresh, fragrant coriander.
What I've been doing is any leftover veg I've got from roast dinners and stuff, I will put that in there as well. Now, I haven't got leftovers today, but I have kind of got an array of kind of more interesting greens that might be around. So I've got some Brussels sprouts here, right? You might think, oh, really? But they're really, really good. Just finely slice them. So in we go with these and welcome it to the lovely world of those kedgeree spices. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna use some frozen peas. I've got some kale and some dark black cabbage there. In it goes. Bring it back to life, make it sexy. It's time for the rice. Flake in the rice and let it just sit on top for a couple of minutes. You don't have to sort of like thwack it about and just bash it about. It will take the flavour later on, right? We'll take the juice of the lemon and just squeeze it around the pan, right? That's gonna go through the rice. You can hear it. So it's all gonna start caramelising a little bit. Oh, amazing.
After the eggs have bobbed around with the fish for 6 minutes or so, let them cool a bit.
Let's get the fish. Look at that. The flake is what we want. Take the skin and just pull it away. And then over to the pan. Delicious. And then we're gonna get ourselves together. We're gonna finish it. So season it, you know, maybe good oil. Take 2 spoons, right? And we're gonna kind of fold it now, okay? So we're gonna kind of bring that kind of heart and soul, the colour, the attitude into that clean white rice. And scrape the bottom of the pan. Get the flavour up.
And to crown the kedgeree, unwrap those magically poached eggs.
You have a perfect egg. I could never do that. Come on, 20 years experience, never that good.
Add a little flourish of fresh coriander and a final kick of chilli.
Just to remind you that you're serious, and then get into the eggs and just open them out. Look at that. And there, my friends, enough talking. Break up the egg. Oh, the flake of the fish, the smoke, the sort of unctuousness of the egg. I honestly could smash that. I have to be controlled. There you go. Poetry in motion. Come on! Ah, you want pie, do you? Well, I've got a pie for you. We are going to make roasted meat pie. You heard it, roasted meat pie. Not just boiled meat pie, roasted. Extra flavour, extra texture, and extra smiles. Come on!
This pie is packed full of roasted succulent game birds to give you a special something this weekend.
We have a chicken over here, but then we have mallard, we have pheasant, we have a beautiful grouse, we have partridge. The list goes on and on that you could use, but mix it up.
We're going to dress them with olive oil, seasoning, and crushed juniper berries before bashing up some thyme, rosemary, and bay leaves for an aromatic herby hit.
Beautiful natural colours and flavours.
Then it's an hour in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit.
So while those birds roast away in the oven, let's start the story with the ragu. We're going to start off with some gorgeous smoked, dry-cured bacon. The flavour that you get, the smoke, the fat that will render out. A couple of bay leaves go in, maybe a little sprig of rosemary, and then we can start adding the veg.
This is a classic ragu base of juicy carrots, sweet red onions, leeks and celery.
You know, it's this frying and the breaking down of all the natural sugars. That's where the massive flavour is. That's where you're going to put something in your mouth and go, wow.
Once the veggies have softened, add some chunky potatoes and season. Oh yes.
Because the birds are going to be roasting for like another 45 minutes, let's let that slowly sweat off for 45 minutes. Oh my Lord, the flavour you will get by just slowing it down is amazing.
And it will be so worth the wait.
What a beautiful, beautiful sight. Literally, just pull the whole thing apart. what you're going to feel is the difference in texture. For the people that have never eaten game before, this is your opportunity, guys, because you can have your chicken and just a few bits of game. And then if you like it, add a little bit more next time and a bit more next time. The grouse. And now we're on to the pheasant. Normally, if you're getting game birds in season, it's very reasonable.
All these bones will make a brilliant stock for another day.
There's just flavour and value everywhere. Don't throw nothing away. 2 tablespoons of plain flour go in. That's your thickening agent. And then in with about 500 millilitres of cider. Cheers to that.
Give it a stir and boost its flavour even more with good chicken stock and those incredible roasting juices from the tray.
Maximum flavour.
And all that delicious meat.
And that, my friends, is going to be the most mega stew ever.
So we'll strain it before it goes in to give you the perfect pie consistency, and then we've got loads of gravy for pouring later.
Pastry time. We're going to go half butter, half suet. To that, we're going to add 800 grams of plain flour, a good pinch of salt, 3 lovely eggs, and then find that fat and just use your thumbs to mix it in.
A splash of water, and the whole thing should start to come together.
It's going to look a bit rough and ready. That's fine. You want to keep it short. If you keep kneading it, it won't be crumbly. Right, can you see there's still chunks of suet in here? I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to let that cool down, and then we'll fill it.
And be patient, it's the weekend. Chilling it will stop your pastry shrinking during cooking and make it easier to roll.
Let's make this pie. I want to go about ½ a centimetre thick, then roll it back up. Olive oil into a dish, get right up the sides. We get our filling. What's nice about it chilling again is the gravy kind of solidifies. So you want to just chivvy in this edge, this rim, like that. Just tuck it under like this. What I want to do is put my thumb in here and pinch around it. You know, you can get all kinds of cutters, you can get leaves, you can do plaits, you can do shapes, all sorts. But to be honest, at the weekend, I've put enough love into it. Just use 2 fingers and a thumb and you'd be amazed what you can achieve. And a beautiful roasted meat pie has been born. Happy days. Just egg wash the centre part. And I do want to just create a little star to relieve the steam, and look at that. It's going to be amazing.
After an hour in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit, your wonderful weekend feast will emerge.
Look, you can see how crispy that pastry is going to be. Wow. Oh, guys, look at that, look at the flake. Look at the thickness of that pastry there. You know that people are going to fight for that. There's never enough pastry, is there? But we got it bottom, side and top, and a big old handle, a love handle, which you'll definitely get if you keep eating too much pie. But for this weekend, only yes! Just hit it up with some seasonal greens. Oh. It is nuts. Loads of different flavours happening there, different chunks of meat. And the guys at the end of the pier, they're gonna love it. So this I've made for you with love.
This is incredible.
Have you ever eaten grouse?
No.
Partridge?
I don't even are they birds?
Pheasant?
Yeah.
I've seen them, like, dead in the road. Do you still call that a pie? Because I know somebody who calls that a lie because it's not got pie underneath.
Oh,
it's
you mean just a
top.
lid?
Oh.
It's a lie.
Oh, sister, we have got pastry everywhere.
There's pastry everywhere. Look at that. Shut your face. Yeah. Oh my God, it's got the veg and everything in it.
This is your gravy.
Is that, what kind of granules is that?
Oh, yeah.
That is really good.
That pie was so good, her voice low. Did you hear that?
I know.
She went, oh, yeah.
It's my sexy voice.
You went all sexy voice.
Move in with me.
We've got pies for the whole calf.
Oh my God, it weighs a ton.
I know.
It's full of so many dead birds and that. Enjoy, guys.
It's like proper weekend food, isn't it?
So much filling as well, isn't there?
This is so good. Amazing. Definitely better than my mum's pies, definitely. I think I'm going to have this for my Christmas dinner.
Game changer.
So we're going to make the most incredible Caesar salad that's going to blow your mind. We're going to take it to the next level, the next galaxy.
This souped-up salad combines sweet and crispy salad veg topped with the juiciest chicken and the crispiest skin.
So to make the ultimate roast chicken, to give you the ultimate croutons, which makes the ultimate Caesar salad, we're going to start with a brine.
Brining adds loads of flavour and moisture to your chicken. Combine 4 tablespoons of fennel seeds and black peppercorns, 6 dried chilies, loads of bay leaves and fresh thyme.
We're just toasting it, waking it up, and it smells incredible. Then we're going to break that heat with a litre of water and apple juice. All right, yeah, I get it. Chili, fennel, apple juice, delicious. So then we need salt, 2 heaped tablespoons per litre. So that's 4 of those bad boys.
Don't worry, you're not going to eat all of this salt. It's just here for the soaking.
Salt has this reaction with moisture, doesn't it? It can pull and push, pull and push. And actually, it's kind of your best friend for imparting flavour.
And to maximise that flavour, I'm going to open out the chicken.
Get your knife or a pair of scissors, go to the parson's nose, and then just simply cut down like that, keep your hands away, and then once you start hitting the rib cage, don't put any weight onto it, and it's very, very simple. All the way down it goes, to the end. And then all you do is open it out like a book, and there you have your spatchcock chicken.
Place the chicken in the cooled brine solution.
You can brine it for 2 hours, 4 hours, overnight. It's all cool in the gang. And simply, what I would do is just kind of, put a plate upside down in there to weigh it down. What's going to happen is you're going to transform your brilliant chicken into a flavoured, seasoned, juicier, brilliant chicken.
And I've got one that's been brined overnight in the fridge, with all that flavour absorbed into the meat. Pat the chicken dry and drizzle with olive oil.
So this goes in the oven for half an hour at 200 degrees Celsius. We want to get the flavours going. So as the chicken roasts, I want to show you how I make my creamy dressing. The original was riffing off of mayonnaise. So why not get your creaminess from beautiful, thick, organic Greek yogurt? Now we're pimping it up, okay? So about 4 tablespoons of good, cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil.
Then add some English mustard, some pepper, Worcestershire sauce, the zest and juice of 1 lemon,
just to loosen it and make it have that attack.
And grate in some nice fresh parmesan.
And it's the most wonderful seasoning that's going to make the whole salad and all those flavours come together. So mix that up, and you want it to be that consistency where it will just sit around the leaf of a lettuce. Dressing is done. Very nice, very fresh, and I think a trade-up. So next, something that divides people, anchovies. But it will still remain an optional extra in this salad, so don't run away. They're very salty to taste. So that's the problem. So let's fix it. Take the fillet. I like to cut them in half, like that. They're more delicate.
I'm going to marinate these slithers to reduce the saltiness and bring out the flavour.
So I'll take, things like parsley. Fresh is coming to save salty. Okay, so in it goes. Then lemon. So flavours from the zest. This is kind of getting exciting, okay. Then the juice, well, we know what lemon juice does, right? It's just there to kind of go with rich, oily things. That's going to be good. Then good oil. It's going to pull out the saltiness and make it delicious. Also, I like chili. The colours are telling you this is good. Dressing done, anchovy done.
Next, the crouton.
This is going to be the best crouton in your life. The humble bread is the carrier of everything. Some logic here. Chicken juices. What I want to do is take my chicken and mix the crouton in that fat. This is how we earn status of Best Crouton Award. We're going to take the garlic, right? We're going to leave them in the skin, right? And we are going to just put whole garlic cloves in there. It's going to be super croutons. Now come with me. This is the genius bit, right? I'm going to put the chicken on the top of the oven. I want it to rain chicken juices over my croutons.
Now just leave it at 160 degrees Celsius, 320 Fahrenheit, for an hour.
So as the chicken's roasting and dripping on the croutons, getting crunchy, we can think about the salad, right? Chop up the romaine lettuce, some chives, radishes, and a cucumber. But essentially, anything crunchy could work in this salad. After half an hour of roasting together, the aromas from the chicken and the croutons are incredible. It's literally the crispiest skin I've ever seen. The apple juice has kind of penetrated it, and it's kind of toffeed, caramelised. This is insanely exciting. Those incredible croutons, look at these. Crunchy, chewy, and full of that beautiful goodness. Let's have some croutons in the salad. Look at this. We've got our mega dressing. Put about half of it in there. And let's dress every single last leaf. And shave the Parmesan. And then we've got the chicken here. You know if the chicken's cooked, if the meat just peels away from the bone, like that. That's what I'm talking about. Was it worth it? Yeah. And look how juicy that is. Can you see? So there we go, lovely people. The great Caesar salad taken to the next level in Southend-on-Sea. Jimmy, Mark, hope you enjoy it. So what I want to do is just serve you a little bit, and then you'll have to wait, guys. Look at their faces.
I think I can hear them salivating.
Nice Parmesan here. Fill your boots.
Man. There's so many different flavors going on. I've had Caesar salad, but not like this.
We're filling our faces, but should we feed the audience?
Oh, I think we should.
Are you guys hungry?
I'll get to you shortly.
I've never had a chicken brine before. It's so flavoursome.
Are you ready for a little Caesar salad?
That is so good.
The anchovies are like the turbocharger.
The juices have like dripped into the bread. That is absolutely stunning.
I've got the most incredible recipe to share with you. It's Friday night, which means it's fish night. I've got a lovely whole sea bass in the most incredible Malaysian-inspired paste. We're gonna serve that with jasmine rice, a beautiful chopped rainbow salad, and a chili pickle. So tasty, it's gonna slap your taste buds around the face like a wet kipper. What we wanna do is start not with the fish, but actually with the paste. So, lemongrass, give it a good old spanking. It breaks the fibres, which is lovely. Finely slice it. So chili is very, very important. Now, what we want to do is remove the hot part. And I want this to be a beautiful red paste. So I'm using red chilies. We're going to use shallots here, ginger, very sort of hot and fragrant, and then the kaffir lime leaves. We'll just take the little stalk out. You can get them fresh, dried, or even frozen. We're going to use a pestle and mortar, and what I will do for some basic seasoning is some sea salt. So let's get pounding. And it's that bashing, bruising action that's gonna give you the mega flavor. So we're gonna get a bit more pasty now. I'm gonna take some peanuts, just a little handful, so you'll get a creaminess from it. And I'm using fish sauce, and this stuff gives this incredible savory, meaty seasoning. 2 tablespoons of the fish sauce, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of tomato puree, which gives a hit of umami. And we'll have a good old pound up. We're very close now. So we have saltiness, sweetness, and now I'm gonna put sort of like electricity into it, like really waking it all up and bring it to life. And citrus is the one, lime is the one. So give it a roll, and then use a little fine grater to steal some of this green zest. And then I'm gonna add the juice, and it kind of makes the paste go even wetter. So now we go from pounding to just muddling to bring it all together. If I start pounding it now, I'm going to be wearing it all. So look, that is the paste done. Woo! Yeah! That's what it does. Oh, my Lord. So here is our fish, the beautiful sea bass. Line caught, sustainable, and very prolific in this area around the pier. But any lovely white fish you can get hold of that's sustainable is great for this. So I'm just going to lightly score it, and then I'll go the opposite direction. we have like this checkerboard, open to flavour. Rub that into these cuts. We're gonna go into the cavity. Beautiful. Really use every last bit of it. Now we could wrap that in greaseproof paper, but what I want to do is show you another way that I think is so special and exciting. We've got banana leaves. Yeah, you heard it right, banana leaves. You can get it from Asian supermarkets, online, and you can get them frozen or fresh like this. It gives the most incredible fragrance. So if you've got a gas hob at home, just try this, because what's nice about these banana leaves is the natural oils inside. And then if I just lay this over a heat, you're gonna see the natural oils waken up. And that shininess is its flavor, and it also makes it more malleable. We'll take our fish, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap this up, tuck it into bed. So, although not a perfect seal, that is still gonna create an environment where flavor is amplified, steaming happens, baking happens. It's gonna be amazing. So this goes in an oven at 220 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes. From now onwards, there's a beautiful rhythm of getting jobs done to bring a beautiful feast together. Rice. We're using jasmine rice. In a nice little pot, we're gonna get it on a high heat. We're gonna add a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil. We're then gonna go in with a tablespoon of coconut cream. And then I'm gonna go in with the juice and the actual leftovers of a lovely lime. So really fresh and fragrant. So in it goes with a good pinch of salt, and then straight in with the rice and 1 cup of boiling water. And that is the perfect equation for sticky, fluffy rice. So as that comes to the boil, lid goes on top, and that will cook for 15 minutes. Next, I want to make a little chili pickle that's so easy and fast. I happen to have a few different coloured chilies. I'm not going to de-seed it. I'm going to keep it really quick, finely slice it. Go as fine as you can. You want it to be delicate. I want to make a nice tangy little sort of pickle. Very simple, very quick. So I'll take some white wine vinegar, could be cider vinegar, probably more traditionally it'll be rice wine vinegar. Lightly sweeten it with a little sugar and salt. Will give you that kind of balance that you want. So mix it up. As soon as that sugar and salt has dissolved, submerge those chilies, mix it all around, and it will start to translate all the flavors. Okay, salad. A little bit of crunch, a little bit of sunshine. If I just take a little bit of cucumber, and I'll stack these all up and just slice them up like this. Then we'll take our little friend Monge 2, a little slab of red cabbage. If you wanted to do this in a food processor, absolutely you can. I'm using Chinese cabbage here. Look at this. Like a little painter's palette of colour and crunch. Then we want to start going into sort of little curveball areas. Mango is going to work so well with that fish. Next, coconut. Hold it in your hand, fingers out of the way, convincingly get it a thwack. And just grate lovely flecks. So look, once you've done that, add some herbs. Mint, of course, is beautiful. Coriander is very nice. What I like to do is just rip it up like that, a nice little handful. If we want to finely slice it, I'm just going to dress it with lime juice. So on it goes a little bit of the juice from the chilies, and you've just got a beautiful shred salad, almost like a slaw. Right, the moment of truth. Let's do this. Oh, yes. Look at that beautiful parcel. What's inside there is very special. So take a few of the herbs, tear a few bits over. What you can do as well is just take some toasted peanuts, and then, last but not least, just a little kiss of soy sauce. I want to get a little teacup of rice because we're at the seaside. And what happens at the seaside? Sandcastles. We're then going to go with that incredible rainbow salad. And then it's the fish. We can use just a fork to go down the back. You can get that fillet like that. See that? Pearly white fish. And it doesn't matter if it breaks up. Look at that. Come on. That ain't your usual Friday night dinner, is it? Come on. So I'd finish that off with a chili pickle. This will just make the whole thing sing. I would normally use a knife and fork with this, but I'm not going to today. I'm going to use my very clean hands. And let's get amongst it. Oh, wow. The flavours. Lemongrass, that subtle umami, the crunch from the peanut. It's all there. Oh, dear. My mum will kill me for using fingers, but I don't care. I'll go on the naughty corner for this. Delicious.
There's nothing better than cooking something delicious for friends or family, and you don't have to wait to the end of the weekend to do a beautiful roast. Introducing pot roast pork, wrapped in cured meat with sage and garlic, and a side dish of celeriac, spinach, and some compotted apple and rhubarb. Oh yes, let's do this. So this is a beautiful piece of pork loin. It's about 1 kilo. We've removed belly and fat to make it convenient. So it's going to cook really evenly, but we have lost flavour. So we've got to add it back in. So we'll do that by creating an amazing marinade and wrapping it in the cured meat. First up, I'm going to use a fantastic herb, sage. The smell is amazing. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Take your pestle and smash it up. Then go in with 2 cloves of garlic. Once the garlic has been smashed, then finish off the marinade process with 2 tablespoons of oil and about 1 tablespoon or 2 of red wine vinegar. That, my friends, is unbelievable flavour potential. Pour it over the pork, and then we can have a nice little rub up. Let's have a look at the cured meat for wrapping. So take a piece of greaseproof paper. We'll rub that with a little olive oil. And then here I'm using a cured meat called Coppa di Parma. But of course you can use Parma ham, use whatever you can get your hands on. And I'm just going to lay out this incredible cured meat, turn this, take that amazing cut of pork. We're using simply rolling and gravity to wrap that, okay? Now at this stage, we want to secure it. So I'm going to take some string, do a double knot, and pull it fairly tight, right? We want to secure that to the pork. And there you go. Something truly beautiful and ready for cooking. So pan goes on, just a little bit of olive oil, a little knob of butter, and as it starts to bubble and fry, we'll go in with this incredible piece of pork. Listen to that, come on, that's what it's all about. Now, we will just move this pork around and we'll achieve a little bit of light golden colour. While the pork browns, slice up a stick of celery, cut the red onion into wedges and add to the pan with a couple of sprigs of rosemary.
It's just lovely, savoury flavours. This is going to be beautiful. So, you know, as it starts to fry and get golden and crisp, then we add a little Chianti, just a little. We don't want to boil, and that's going to create the most amazing sort of humid, delicious environment where the fat and the Chianti is just kind of creating this shiny cream that just bastes the meat. That's pot roasting. So it's going in the oven for about 40 minutes. Every 10 minutes, I'll turn it and baste it. And this will give you golden, delicious, moist pork. What I'll do now is bang this in an oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. It's going to be truly amazing. So as that beautiful pork cooks, what could go with it? I'm thinking celeriac. You can steam it, grill it, you can mash it, you can pretty much treat it like a parsnip or a potato, but also most of the flavour is in the skin. So I've had a proper little scrub up. Generously sort of cut off those lobes of skin. There you go. So all I do here is a little seasoning and a little oil, celeriac cracklings in the bottom of the oven.
Into a new pan, add a tablespoon of olive oil, a few sprigs of thyme, and go in with the chopped celeriac.
And about half an hour of cooking and that will be beautiful. As that's happening, I want to do a compote. Apples, very, very traditional, quite British, but then I'm kind of rifting off into the wonderful world of rhubarb. Sour. It's got that kind of weird sort of tropical slap.
Chunk up the rhubarb and add to the roasting tray. Then peel and chop a red and green apple. Add a pinch of salt and pepper, a tablespoon of brown sugar, a splash of red wine vinegar, and throw in a knob of butter.
So give it a nice little mix up. This goes in the oven. Let's have a look at our pork and give it just another drizzle of the Chianti. Look at that. Just move it over and just add that juice and it's going to be amazing.
Put the pork back in the oven and let it cook away, remembering to turn and baste it every 10 minutes.
Come on! Look at that gorgeous, simple sauce. Now, I'm going to let the meat rest in its juices, right? About 10 minutes. That will give you a tastier, more tender cut of meat. And then here, we have got the celeriac. I want to bring some greens into the story. So baby spinach, 2 bags, get it in there. Use the residual steam, a couple of minutes, and then it's plate up time. So exciting. The smell is phenomenal. Look at this. Come on. Colour, flavour, smells. That's what it's about. If I just push it, look at the moisture coming out of it. Dry pork, no longer. No way, Jose. Different vibe, but it's gonna put a massive smile on your face. The idea of sauce, gravy. Right, we're not gonna have pints of the stuff, sorry. But what I'll give you in return is flavour like you've never had before. And we've got a roasted rhubarb and apple compote. Crispy celeriac cracklings. Ladies and gentlemen, pot roast pork wrapped in cured meat. Oh, that is so good. Nice bit of the old cured meat, the silky soft pork, and that Chianti juice is so good. Little kiss of sweetness from the compote. That, my friend, is a little fork of heavenly beauty. Oh, what a way to start the weekend. I have got the most incredible crowd pleaser of a dish. This is Sicilian inspired. Beautiful chicken thighs wrapped in smoky pancetta, prosciutto, stuffed with the most amazing pesto cum salsa verde. And we cook it above the most delicious potatoes with tomatoes. And it all starts here with some lovely sliced potatoes. 1.5 kilos of peeled and sliced about 1 centimetre thick, about 5 or 6 minutes of parboiling. And then the next job is to peel some tomatoes. What I want to do is just simply prick it with the tip of a knife, and we're going to pop it in the water for the last 45 seconds of the parboiling of the potatoes. About 250 grams goes in. That'll take the skin off of the outside of the tomatoes, and then we can take the tomatoes out first. By removing the skin, it allows the tomato to take on flavour, but also the juices to come out, and then we can drain the potatoes. So at this stage in the game, I literally just squeeze the tomatoes through my hand, and the skin will just easily come off. We want to give it a basic seasoning here with salt and pepper and a nice kiss of olive oil. So the potatoes now go in, but you can see already that these potatoes are going to suck up the flavour of the tomatoes. We're going to whack it in the oven. The oven is at 200 degrees Celsius. In it goes. So we're going to make a paste. Think pesto, think salsa verde. So it starts here with really Sicilian-inspired flavours. So grab 6 garlic cloves, 6 anchovy fillets, 60 grams of blanched almonds, and give them a good old pounding. There's something about bashing things up that just completely commands more flavour. Roughly chop a big bunch of parsley and mint and go in with a heaped tablespoon of capers. We're going to get some wet stuff in. So the oil from the anchovies is incredibly tasty. Don't waste that. And then the secret ingredient, balsamic. This sweetness and this sourness works with those incredible ingredients. And I'm just going to pile that stuffing on top. All I do now is just rub it all over the chicken. And now for the really fun bit, wrapping up the chicken with 2 different types of cured meat. I'm going to take 8 pieces of pancetta and just lay it at a slight angle. And then on top of the pancetta, prosciutto. The reason I'm using 2 cured meats is because the chicken thigh that's had the fat removed, it could potentially go dry. So we can solve that problem by adding back the fat. This is going to give you flavour like you can't believe. We now have like a landing strip for these beautiful chicken thighs and the amazing stuffing. For me, what I love about this is there's people that buy chicken thighs all the time, but to have a new little trick is brilliant. Now, take that little bit of prosciutto and pancetta and roll it up. Think of it like a sleeping bag for these beautiful chicken thighs. Absolutely beautiful. And you can just plump it and tuck it into shape. So in we go with a skewer and just, it'll go all the way through. That is what you end up with. Now let me just wash my hands a second, and I'm gonna go and get my potatoes and tomatoes. These spuds have only had like 10 minutes. What I want to do, and the reason I like the skewers, is I can place the chicken over. And as those chicken thighs and the pancetta and the prosciutto gets crispy, it's going to rain down on those potatoes to make them the best potatoes you've ever had. So back in the oven now, still at 200. Well, the chicken has had 45 minutes. This little hut smells heavenly. I've even got myself a little drink. So here we go. Come on. Look at that. That is a beautiful chicken dish. Look at the way that the fat and the juices have made you the most incredible potatoes. So guys, get yourself a nice carving knife and just gently rock down the middle of the skewer to reveal this. Come on. Look at the rolls and the folds, the crispy bits and the stuffing. If you look at the potatoes here, can you see how they're kind of roasted, but kind of baked, but kind of crispy? I love it. It's confused, just like me, but I don't care. In there we go. These will be like tomatoes you've never had before. And then when it comes to our good old friend, Mr. Chicken, just get it on there. How nice is that? I personally just love it with a green salad, lemony rocket from a height. And what you can do is take that last little bit of balsamic. Oh, yes. Happy birthday. And it's not even my birthday. Bit of chicken, bit of prosciutto. Oh, yeah. You've got the savouriness, the fragrance, the ironiness of the mint and the parsley, the anchovies, the garlic, the capers. Nice little glass of white wine. We are in Italy. Sort of. Guys, it's the weekend and it's time to cook some incredible steak. Not like you've ever seen before. This is inspired by Mexico. We're gonna do steak cooked with two sauces. Gnarly on the outside, blushing on the inside, tender, juicy, perfectly cooked. And these sauces, they're gonna take your flavor sensations to the next level. Right, it all starts here with the steak. One of the things that we all fall into the trap of is buying the pre-cut steak, which is always too thin. And that means it's almost impossible to get that color on the outside and cook it blushing and juicy on the inside, right? Even for a chef, that's a challenge. So we can fix that straight away by buying one steak for two people, right? Slicing it, sharing it. A double steak. Oh my Lord, the difference will blow your mind, I promise you. So get to a butcher to evenly remove this fat, then get him to cut you a double steak. And then we've got the fat, and that is incredible flavor. But underneath it is this sinew, okay? It is tough, but the fat itself is amazing. And what we can do, once we've got rid of the sinew, is slice up the fat, and that you can put in a pan. It will render the fat, so we require no other fat at all, and also it will go crispy. As that's happening, I want a little side of some potatoes. I'm using a crinkle cutter for that kind of retro, fun take, just because deep down, we're all kids. So if you take this potato and put it in and around the fat, it's gonna make a brilliant little potato garnish. It's gonna be delicious.
Chuck in 2 large chilies and cook the potatoes till they're golden and crispy.
I wanna make a salsa now, so I'm gonna have a little clean down, put this steak to the side. The salsa I'm making is with tomatoes, so we can just squeeze the seeds out, and I'm gonna chop it up. And of course you can do this with standard red tomatoes, but look at the colors that are out there and available. That's what it's all about. That's really fun.
Then slice up 4 spring onions and a handful each of fresh mint and coriander.
Get yourself 2 or 3 limes, give them a good roll. Get all those little capsules inside, busting and breaking. Lime is so integral to the flavors of Mexico. It's like a little dinner that's taken us on holiday. And then I add a little extra virgin olive oil. We'll hit it up with seasoning of salt and a little chili to get those taste buds going. In with the herbs, onions and tomatoes. So have a little taste. Woo! That's what you want. Really fresh, really crunchy, job done. So look at this, guys. Hot, crispy, and gorgeous. Let's just remove these potatoes now to a little plate. So we haven't even started cooking the steak yet, and I'm really getting excited. So look, in the pan, can you see we've got that fat? That fat is the gold that we're gonna cook this. Season this. Don't take it from the fridge and put it in a hot pan. It's gonna go tense, right? Take it out at least an hour before. So our job as the steak cooks is really to amplify tenderness and retain moisture, juiciness. And we're going to do that by turning every minute until it's cooked to your liking. So by turning it regularly, the moisture will be kind of trapped in the middle of the steak, and that's what you want to do. Fight to keep the moisture. I also like to get the steak and almost clean the pan, all the sticky bits. The last kind of care protocol is resting. And it's almost like when you squeeze a sponge and then you let go and it just kind of lets the moisture go back.
A little hint of extra virgin olive oil will keep the steak succulent as it rests for a few minutes.
In this pan, with meat juices, I want to do the last sauce, and it's so exciting. Again, we said flavors of Mexico. So we're making a beautiful Mexican-style peanut sauce.
So toast up 100 grams of unsalted peanuts, 50 grams of sesame seeds, 3 cloves of sliced garlic, and a teaspoon of cumin seeds.
So I'm now tearing in some dried chili peppers. You could use a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Essentially what we're after is sweet and smoky. Herb-wise, I'm using some oregano. Little fresh thyme goes in. So fragrant, nutty. This is getting smoky, can you see? I do not want to burn this, but I don't want it to be beige. I want to get smokiness and flavour going. So in with all of those ingredients. Now I'm going to put in a little bit of booze. Tequila. I love tequila.
Cover with water, add a couple of fresh chilies, a squeeze of lime, and blend it up.
Right, it's now quite smooth, and it'll surprise you and shock you. Oh, it's very addictive. So the only thing to do now, let's serve it up. Start off with this peanut sauce. Rich, got attitude, love it. And then we'll take our steak, the brightness of the salsa, throw in a few chips. Crispy bits. It's all about the crispy bits. The steak is like butter. It's so tender. This peanut sauce, I'd like to make 1,000 times that and fill a bath with it and jump in. It is delicious. But as annoying as it is watching me enjoy this, you can do it this weekend. What are you waiting for?
We're going to make the most incredible super greens falafel. This is a vegan dish with flatbreads, homemade hummus, salad pickles. I want to celebrate veggies with a meal that you feel excited by.
So it all starts with this, chickpeas. You'll find that in the jars, that's the good stuff. Creamy, big, fat old chickpeas. So let's just talk hummus. Let's take something we know, but do it better. So in a food processor, I'm gonna put these chickpeas and the juice, and I'm gonna leave about 4 tablespoons in here. Forget this. Then we're gonna go in with some basic seasoning, and then half a garlic clove, some nice olive oil, a nice couple of tablespoons, and then we're gonna go in with peanut butter. That's not classic, right? The classic is tahini. I'm just showing you that you can use peanut butter, right? Unsweetened, by the way. Let's take a lemon full of life. Let's not waste the zest. And then let's get some juice in there. Whiz it up and let's go. You can keep it chunky, or you can keep going to make it really beautifully smooth. So look at that. Really beautiful, very, very quick to do. So make a little well of good oil in there, which is peppery and grassy. And then you can take, you know, a few bits of parsley and sort of embellish it. So first bit done. Second bit, I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of the chickpeas and put them into a pan. You can inflict flavor on this in any way you wish to. You can get smoked sweet paprika, delicious. This is dukkha, right, which is a blend of nuts and spices and herbs. So look at this. These are like little flavor bombs. So on our silky, smooth hummus. This is what this kind of little journey's about. Next, our little falafel, right, which is kind of more like a fritter. So in this same food processor, right, I'm gonna add the rest of these chickpeas. What we're then gonna add to that is 150 grams of frozen peas. You've probably got this in your freezer right now. You've probably got chickpeas in a tin somewhere, lonely, in the back of a cupboard, right? Let's have a party, get them out. We need to bind it. So 2 tablespoons of self-raising flour. We're gonna flavor it with some fragrant things. So I want a bunch of mint. The next ingredient is a little kind of surprise ingredient. This is pickled or preserved lemons. You can get them in the supermarkets. Now inside these little lemons, you'll see there's often a few pips. Squeeze them out. You can pulse it and then we're gonna shallow fry it. Delicious. Look at this. I mean, it is the most incredible green color. So we're gonna leave this over here. Now I wanna show you how to make salad pickles. Right, I'm gonna take half of that pomegranate and I'm gonna squeeze it onto our plate here. Then we're gonna hit it up with an acid. So about equal quantities of vinegar. We want it to be pickly. And of course, if you wanted to put a little bit of nice olive oil in there, beautiful. I'm using a red onion. From a height, just sprinkle. We can take a chili. Right, we're talking about color and flavor. Guys, look, let's have you in the party. Hello, welcome to the party. Let's take a cucumber, right? So you can slice this up any way you want. It's about texture, look, feel, fun. And then carrot, you could use a speed peeler. This is a fantastic way to just shave your way into something that's very beautiful. Take a little bit of a mint, giving it a little twist. And then we've got this half of the pomegranates and spank. Boring? No way. I mean, look at the plate. It is beautiful, so how can it not taste beautiful? Now it's time to cook our little falafel. So a little bit of oil in the pan, and we're gonna take a spoon of our mix, get it gnarly and golden, and then when you bust it open, green. Get your spatula over and turn it. If we take a little bit of cumin, it's gonna toast up. It's gonna get smoky. Now we need the edible plate, the bread. This is from a Turkish restaurant, just absolutely beautiful. And you can just warm these up, and they're fantastic. You can tear them up. What a joy.
Bash up some pistachios for extra protein and texture.
Look at that, I mean, look at the color.
Add a few dashes of chili sauce to a bowl of soya yogurt for ooziness and a kick of spice.
Enough talking, let's plate this up. We're gonna take our base, our foundation, hummus. We're gonna get some of these beautiful pickles and just let that rain down. And then we're gonna take some of these falafel. Pistachios, bit of a sprinkle up, get some of our chili. It's gonna just give it a nice moisture. And if you want to finish with a few herbs. But that, my friends, is like a painter's palette. It's full of color. Hallelujah. There's so many flavors going on there. It's creamy, it's hot, it's tangy, it's crunchy. It's got that comforting fritter, but it's so full of flavor. Delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna do potentially one of the most amazing roast pork dishes ever. A little cheeky twist from America, right? From memories of Louisiana and Georgia. So I've got homemade bay salt in there, a double crackling. I've got the most amazing sauce to go with it, bourbon, peaches, a dirty gravy. Oh my Lord, the flavors are big. I think that you're gonna love it. And it all starts here with the pork. This is a Gloucester Old Spot, a brilliant, beautiful pig. You can see there's an inch of fat here. I have asked my butcher to evenly remove the skin. So we're going to achieve double crackling. And I'm going to make a flavoured salt to kiss this with gorgeousness. So first up, let's take the pork. So a little bit like a checkerboard, I'm going to lightly score the fat in a crisscross fashion. We don't want to cut into the meat, right? But we do want to score this. It's going to aid the speed of rendering of the fat. Brilliant. But also, surface area will give you crispy bits. And we want this fat to almost become like a second crackling. So we've scored this, ready for flavouring. So in a pestle and mortar, I'm gonna add some fennel seeds, then black peppercorns, then bay leaves. Bay is such an incredible herb, way underrated. So give it a good smash. So we're busting these spices, we're reawakening and opening up the natural oils. We can then use a little speed peeler and do lemon zest. It works so well in salt. Right, we can take thyme, which I love, thyme and pork, incredible friends. I've got some rosemary, so get the wet stuff in there and we'll have another bash. The smell is phenomenal. You can see now the texture has changed. So into this, 250 grams of salt. Yes, it's a lot of salt. No, I'm not using all of this in this recipe. This salt I'll be using for the next 8 months. So give it a bash, give it a muddle, and I'm gonna sprinkle it from a height, get it into all the little cracks and crannies.
Pork seasoned, next up, veg. So parboil some peeled Maris Pipers, drain, and chuck in a tray with some parsnips. Just take the tops off.
This skin is the chewy, sweet, delicious part, right? And you might notice that I haven't put any oil or butter on them. And that is correct, because this is what we're gonna do. My oven is on full whack. It's screaming hot. I'm gonna put these dry in the bottom. Then I'm gonna take the pork and I'm gonna place it onto the bars. I turn the oven down to 200 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit. So as that cooks, it's gonna start raining delicious flavored fat. And it's gonna be amazing. Now, crackling. A clean, new Stanley knife is brilliant. And the reason I do this is that I can set my depth. So you can literally do it at a centimetre, and then you can score it. You can have fun with it. And the Stanley knife is a really brilliant little cheat that will give you consistent depth.
So rub a little bit of flavoured salt into your crackling, then carefully slice up a small pumpkin.
Look at those colours. Now, I'm just gonna put the crackling back on top. I'm not cooking this until I take the pork out of the oven to rest. So now, sauce. One of the first times I ate grilled and roasted pork with peaches was in America. And then, of course, we have our little friend, bourbon. So let me show you a little technique. It's very, very easy. Put your greaseproof paper on here. I'm gonna put my pear, apple. I'm not gonna prep it, peel it, or core it. Onions, you can leave the skin on. Got the whole peach in there, beautiful. I definitely do want to have a swig of bourbon. This is a 30-second recipe that is gonna make your roast dinner so beautiful. Bring up the sides and then bring in the tin foil, and that, my friend, is gonna cook at the side of the oven. Happy days.
So let your oven do all the hard work, and after an hour and 20 minutes...
Come on! Look at this thing of beauty. And you can see like how crispy this is. Double crackling! Woo! Also what we have is our little package of goodness, smelling amazing, by the way, and the most incredible roast potatoes. Look at that.
While the pork rests, get that second bit of crackling directly onto the oven bars and cook for 30 minutes with the pumpkin below.
Let's just have a look at our little lazy pork sauce. Oh, the smells phenomenal. And if I just sort of stab, look at that. That is peach and bourbon juice, just giving you a little bit of love.
Chop up all that amazing fruit and veg, and we can get our gravy on the go.
I am making what the Americans would call a kind of dirty style gravy, made with mincemeat. It's delicious.
So into the pan with a tablespoon of fat from the roasties.
200 grams of pork shoulder. And let's get some colour on there.
Then finely chop a red onion and throw in a heaped teaspoon of mustard and 2 tablespoons of flour.
We don't want it to burn, but we definitely like caramelisation. At this stage, what I love to do is go back to my friend, Mr. Bourbon.
So add a generous splash, then finish it off with a litre of chicken stock. While your gravy's simmering away, bring all your roasted veg together and pop it back in the oven until your crackling's ready.
Look at this, guys. We'll get some crackling, and then you've got that epic dirty gravy. The skin is so crispy. So come on then, let's plate up. Look at that, so juicy. And then that fantastic peach and bourbon sauce. Happy days. That, my friends, is a little plate of gorgeousness. Let's have a little try. The bay salt and that pork, so juicy. Holy moly, the flavours are outrageous. I think this is a roast dinner to try. That little American inspiration, for me, has brought it all together. Absolutely joyful. I think Jodie and Jimmy and everyone in the cafe are gonna go crazy for this.
Down at the other end of Southend Pier, I'm taking a seaside classic and giving it a tasty twist.
Guys, we're gonna do an easy version of fish and chips, right? We love fish and chips, but the batter, the deep frying, it's a nightmare at home. But a mixed fish grill with beautiful flavoured butters, roasted chips, this is a meal to savour and feast on. Delicious. This is what I've got today. We've got squid here, which people go nuts for. Royal bream, filleted off the bone. Gorgeous. All of this is sustainable. Clams, and we've got mussels, beautiful. We've got sardines, always fantastic value. And then if you want to spend up a little bit, you've got exciting things like the scallops, red mullet. But the key to a mixed fish grill is cutting and prepping all of the fish so it all cooks at the same time. So there's a couple of things time-wise that we can't shift. That's the whole sardine, because it's whole, so about 5 minutes in a hot oven. And then a clam or a mussel, about 4 or 5 minutes, okay? So these are our kind of gauge here. Then we need to kind of prep everything so it's going to cook at the same time. We've got our red mullet fillet here. Get a sharp knife and we can just gently score each part of the fish. So we're controlling the cooking time by scoring it. It's going to cook quicker. And also we can get seasoning in here. Then we can take our lovely royal bream. This fish is a little bit fatter than the red mullet. We can just score it a little bit deeper. And because this is quite a big bit of fish, we can actually cut it in half. 2 lovely chunks. Then I'll take these beautiful scallops, just score it just on one side. That'll help the heat penetrate. Next up, we're gonna work on the squid. I wanna show you a really fun preparation. Just put your knife through it like that. Open it out like a book. Get yourself just a regular eating knife, and I want you to just score the inside of the squid. And what you're doing is creating a texture, like a checkerboard. And then when that squid cooks, it's gonna curl up and become this thing that just wants to grab onto flavour. So last but not least, we've got the prawns.
So peel off the shell and carefully run a knife down the back to remove the vein.
Here, I've got some beautiful tomatoes. And as they're cooking, it's mixing with the fish and shellfish juices. It's gonna be amazing. Now time to get the chips going. We've got some Maris Piper potatoes, and I leave the skins on because it's less work and more nutritious.
Parboil the potatoes for 5 minutes, drain and pop them in a roasting tray with a glug of olive oil and a few sprigs of rosemary, and gently toss together.
And I'm gonna pop these in the oven for about 40 minutes until golden and crisp at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 450 Fahrenheit, and they're just gonna be beautiful. So look, the fish is now just waiting to be cooked, and we need to grace it with a beautiful flavoured butter. And the way I think about flavoured butters is there's a whole world of flavours you can have. And more so than that, we'll whack it in the freezer for a rainy day. So let's talk about combos, and let's talk about how to do it. So here, I have some butter. It's got to room temperature. That means that if I put pressure on it, it's malleable. We can kind of infiltrate this beautifulness with flavour. I'm gonna do the classic first. We're gonna start off with garlic, chives, parsley. We can get a lemon and we can get that lovely fresh zest. Do you know what? I'm gonna go a bit of chilli. So once you've got it to a texture that you like, you just sprinkle it over your butter. Just mush it up. Use your hands, right? We're left with this. And very simply just kind of wind it up like a sausage. I'm gonna take one end and one end like that. I'm gonna squeeze it so it just fattens out, and then I'm gonna twist it opposites. And there you have your flavoured butter.
And the combinations are endless. And as it's the weekend, I'm rustling up another with curry powder, fennel seeds, chopped onion, mint and chilli.
It's fun, it's easy to do. So come on, let's choose one. Let's take a nice little wodge of our parsley one. I'll put this on the bream and the red mullet. So I might go for that lovely curried one and just pop that in like this. Absolutely beautiful. Turn the oven onto hardcore grill. The chips will stay crispy. And after about 5 minutes, when everything's looking beautiful and the mussels and the clams have opened up, that's when you know it's cooked and gorgeous, and then we'll serve up. Look at the steam coming out. Oh, look at that! Yes! That is what it's all about. And our homemade golden roasted chips, delicious. But guys, look at this. It's a joy to behold and see all these juices. Oh my Lord. You can see that our little shellfish have all opened up. So let's have a little plate up. A lovely chunk of that royal bream. What a joy. We've got our mate, Mr. Prawn. Let's have a little try up. Oh, simple, so sweet. You've got the flavour of the garlic and the herb. You've got curried butter. So the palate is going from one flavour to another. Get a chip in there and get some of the juice. What a joy.